body suffers.
Your team
The
is
spirit
picking.
blooms.
Hello and welcome to the North American Squad League, but not only the North American Squad League, but the mother-loving playoffs. Boys, ladies, gentlemen, girls, we have made it. We are here. This is the season playoffs, and we have the top 6 teams, the teams that have battled it out. They have made it, and we are ready for some games. But before we get to those games, we got Deuce Knights and TSU doing the ping check right here, right now. But before we even jump into any of this, let me introduce the 2 casters with me tonight, and that is G the Akayo and Priv8 Dancer. How you doing, G?
Yo, T-Rex, what's good, my guy? You know, I'm killing it, man. I'm glad to be here. I want to see these games. We're in the playoffs. We got to get pumped. I can't wait, man. What's your take on this, Priv8?
Boy, I can't even tell you how excited I am, especially with this being my first time casting for you guys, and the games thus far have just been so exciting. I can't wait to see what these teams are going to show us in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's crunch time. You know, it is crunch time. A lot of these teams have been battling out. We had an insane final night before playoffs. Deuce Knights slipping their way into the number 6 position and kicking Aether Explicit out of the playoffs. The Simpsons didn't make the cut. The Valley and Deuce Knights both just hanging in there, just making it. So I think we're definitely going to have some intense games tonight. TSU definitely hasn't been on their A game towards the second half of the season, whereas Deuce Knights has just been obliterating teams in the second half of the season. So the question is, you know, who's going to take this series right here?
Nah,
Yeah,
we're seeing some crazy stuff, man. And I've casted enough for TSU, and we've all seen them be in the dump, and we just don't. Hopefully, they're climbing their way out. You know, and you just never know. What's your take, Priv8?
Yeah, I mean, they took some pretty hard defeats against the Valley from the on last Sunday, and then we did see that Deuce Knights stepped up, able to get a sweep. And it would easy peasy just going off on there, but there are some other factors in there as well. We have a few ninja nerfs that came in from Moontoon a few days ago on Masha, Beatrix, Quinn, and just a lot of changes between a lot of characters. They went ahead and put in an emergency patch, so we're gonna see if Masha still has the presence that she had before, and with the rest of these changes that they had.
I mean, it's definitely questionable whether she's gonna still be banned or not. I mean, it was like an emergency patch, like it just kind of happened out of nowhere. They're like, all right, we gotta nerf Masha. Everyone needs to calm the hell down. But we gotta talk about Deuce Knights sweeping Insomniacs 2-0, and I don't just mean sweep. I mean they beat them down, and you gotta give it up to Easy Peasy playing that Ling like it's just a god-given talent. The man is a monster on Ling right now, especially with the recent patch notes on Ling. He makes it work, and it's something that I think of a lot of these teams want to be able to take on Deuce Knights in these playoffs. You know, that might be a major target for them. You know, take out the Lancelot, take out the Ling, try to limit Easy Peasy's hero pool as much as possible in this G.
Yeah, I think this is the first night I've actually seen Deuce Knights play, if I'm not mistaken, when I've cast. So seeing if they can pull something through, you know. All these emergency nerfs are crazy. Personally, I've been going against actually some high mythic glories from the previous season, and I've seen some crazy things being pulled out of the hats right now. So I can't wait to see what comes on, who they're going to target, and see if they make it real personal.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna definitely be a huge question here. Not only that, but is TSU gonna finally go back to the roots, or are they gonna keep on trying some of these weird compositions? They've really been trying to nail down this double tank composition, things of that nature, and it just hasn't been working for them. You know, they've been catching a lot of losses with some trying different things. I was actually talking to the manager of TSU the other day, and they were talking about how they were ready for the playoffs, that they're gonna bring their A game, and I told him, not gonna lie, you guys have been a little sus the past couple of games, man. man. And he was like, I know, like laughing and stuff. So hopefully, I'm excited to see if there's any hidden compositions that some of these teams are going to bring, some things that they haven't wanted to show yet, some things, you know, were they just fooling around because they knew they had a top 6 position? Were they trying some different things to see if they could bring something else to the playoffs? You know, because this is it. You lose this, you're out. If you want the prize pool, if you want to get it, you need to do well here and right now, Private.
Yeah, and it's something to say too about TSU, because they have been so formidable in the past. The few games that they have kind of like slipped a little bit, I'm not even going to count those. From the strengths of them, you've seen the organization by them. You've seen that side lane able to hold off while the team fights are going on and try to keep those minions pushing so that the enemy's XP laner is late to these fights. And that's where the key lies for TSU. If they can get back to that, and also giving up the turtle so that in the early game so that they can jump onto that marksman. These things have been working for them, and I feel like they've been distancing themselves from that. On the other side, though, you have seen what happened when they faced the Valley and when they got behind. It was very hard for them to come back from that on their back foot. It seemed like they struggled a little bit to find that organization that they've been known for. So this is going to be about whether Deuce Knights can put on that pressure, keep that pressure on them, and how TSU can answer that.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, that's good overall.
I mean, it's definitely going to be up in the air. I am having of course, some camera glitches. We'll figure it out in just a minute, but we aren't going to waste too much time here. These teams are ready, and wait 1 second.
I heard someone was going to use Hanabi.
I don't think we're gonna see a Hanabi here. But we are gonna be jumping in just a second. Teams are ready to go. I'm just gonna let them know it is gonna be TSU with first pick. And I'm ready for it. If you guys had to give it a guess right here, Aiko, who do you give it to?
I'm gonna give it to my boys TSU.
TSU, all right. Private?
While TSU is organized, I want to see that momentum from Deuce Knights continued from that last sweep. They surprised the enemy, and I want to see how well they can surprise TSU here as well. So I'm going to go with not TSU, Deuce Knights.
We are going to jump into the draft now. You know, if I have to give it to somebody, I don't know. Deuce Knights has definitely been on fire. I think if Deuce Knights can keep up the smoke that they have been bringing to the table recently, they definitely have a good chance at winning this game, especially if TSU is not on their A game like we've been seeing recently. If TSU keeps playing the way they've been playing, it's going to be a tough game for them here.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, again, I think it's going to really come down to just like what Private said, just capitalizing on those key things that they've excelled in, you know, targeting key players, keeping the initiative going, and keep doing what they used to do, you know?
Your team is banned.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have the league and these players coming to such intricate games right when a patch hits. So it juggled things around, and it's kind of a fight between what has worked in the past and are you keeping up with the meta as it shifts. I mean, we've just seen such a huge change with these tanks, with Masha, with the aggression that she can put on, or people like Grok and Boxia and Belleric, and the presence that they can have on the field in XP lane or as a tank.
And the Grok, I've met a couple Groks, and they definitely can control. But we do see a Ling target. So we do see Ling actually getting taken out of the game. They're still iffy about that Masha.
Oh.
Huh? Nani?
I mean, that's a definite target for Juju. Like,
really?
Like, I know it seems ridiculous. I know it seems crazy, but even Team Sexy, banned out the Mia against Deuce Knights. They make it work. The end game of it is just phenomenal. The damage, we've seen it a little bit overseas even, and it's something that a lot of teams are starting to respect from Deuce Knights with Jujube playing it especially. She knows how to play safe in the early game and make sure that she, I mean, as long as she can not die too much in the early game, mid to late, she's doing some insane damage on the enemy teams.
I mean, hey, like I said, the one thing that they're going to have to do is really knock down onto targeting, you know? It's always going to come down to the targeting, so I'm glad we're seeing it.
And I think we saw that on Sunday. It was the Maya and the Ling that was able to help Deuce Knights be able to capture that win. While Maya did die a few times in the early game, she was at the end just kind of wrecking shop while Ling was while Easy Peasy was coming in on that Ling, dashing around because he really couldn't do much against what was it, a pretty heavy comp with a Barats on the other team, and it actually looked like it was going to be a loss for Deuce Knights, but near the end of there, Juju was able to kind of help clinch that for them. So it's a good ban on their side to be able to go ahead and take that out. It was such an integral role for them.
Yeah,
and we do have Valentina.
We got really good bans. Valentina, I mean, this is our second time, T-Rex?
This is, well, no. So since the nerf on Valentina, we've seen her slip in just a few times. You know, nothing insane. And she definitely hasn't been as scary as we've seen her in the past. So a lot of teams just have been deciding not to ban her recently. And she definitely is a little lackluster than what she used to be.
Yeah. Now, this could be my personal opinion, but I see we got a Clint and a Beatrix. I actually seen a lot of Wanwans just go absolutely crazy. Has that been a big
so
influence?
Wanwan has definitely made a comeback since the recent patch. Again, it's not as damaging as we thought it was going to be because they did nerf her damage output. Yes, she can use the ultimate a bit more often, but the damage is not as much as it used to be. But there are some still, I mean, Zia was still he was already a monster with Wanwan before. Now he's even scarier with it. So I mean, it still is a scary pick. Is it worth banning? I think it still depends on what team you're going up against and just how you feel what your composition is going to be against that. But we do know Japanese, we do know the side, like Dog Tour, some of these players on TSU can run the Clint very, very well. So I do like that pick instead of the Wanwan.
I can feel it. I can feel it. Grok's gonna be a oh man. As myself as being a mage, Grok has one-shot me and blew me away. I want to see what he can do here. I want to see.
Well, early game he does have those weaknesses to magic damage until he can build up either that that radiant armor or the oh my god, it's gonna slip my mind because I never buy it anymore because I see too many Esmeraldas. The other defensive magic item, Jesus. But yeah, we're gonna see how. Yeah, Athena's shield. So, and you're not going to be wanting to get that anyway now because they do have an Esmeralda on the other side. So it's probably going to be radiant armor for him if he's going to want to try to get something against the magic damage that they are showing right now. Kagura actually a really good pick because of the Clint. He doesn't really have that much mobility. He does have that little dash that he can shoot out his little his cables and his chains to be able to like CC somebody down. But the actual range from it isn't that far. So Kagura will probably be able to close down on him if allowed to.
Yeah, no, Kagura, she's a good mage, man. Just being able to get and peel that back lane, because we're seeing two of them having very frontal. So we're looking at a Grok and a Beatrix. So Kag will be able to get in that back line and hopefully interrupt, like you were saying, that Clint. But she has to watch out on the dives on the Esmeralda here. Ooh,
you know,
going with a.
I don't like that pick. I don't think I like the Lolita pick here. I mean, possibly, but I just feel like the Grok, the wall, should be able to get her knocked out of that as long as he can place her right and knock her out of that Numenon Blast. You also have Fleur who can knock you out of that Numenon Blast. And the only thing, especially with Easy Peasy now locking in this Karina, it's just it just doesn't seem like it's going to be as important as it would normally be against the double. They decide to bring it in, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still viable. It's just you need to be a lot more mechanically inclined in these team fights to make it work. Too many slip-ups with that ultimate, not being able to land it down at the right time could be the fall to TSU here.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that on the side of TSU here, it might be a little hard for Karina to actually be able to lock on with that ult, the Esmeralda or the Valentina, because they have because Valentina has the dash and Esmeralda has that falling Moonstar that could actually put her more in harm's way as she dives into the back line of it. But we do have a Hylos here picked up with them, which means that they are going to go be able to activate that ult and get the entire team to kind of run down the lane for these chases in this engagement. And I gotta say, I kind of like Deuce Knight's lineup here.
I think Deuce Knights is going to be invade heavy. I feel like, especially with an X-Borg, I don't think X-Borgs can really clear jungles that fast early on. With a Hylos and a Grok,
I mean, hypothetically, the X-Borg jungle is supposed to counter the Karina. That's the idea behind that. It's supposed to be able to kind of kite her, do constant damage. He's all skill damage, so he doesn't have to worry about, you know, her phasing out and dodging some of those basic attacks. So, I mean, back in the day when X-Borg was a bit more popular, he was a good counter to the Karina jungle. But again, X-Borg has come, you know, a long way, and not in a good way since then. So will it work? Will it work against this double tank composition of the side of Deuce Knights? Again, he does output true damage, so it might do well against this tanky front line of Deuce Knights here. The question is, you know, will it here, Private?
It's an interesting question. I know he's fallen out of favor just because of the immense amount of magic damage and magic pierce that came onto the scene, and X-Borg kind of fell out of the way, especially that he doesn't actually have a real good CC to initiate those jungle ganks from. But I do want to see how this works out, because we do have Esmeralda, and in this tournament, or in this league so far, traditionally Esmeralda has kind of lost to Hyloses. So I want to see how well she can deal with this and be able to join her team during these mid-game squabbles that are going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Hylos has been a popular counter pick for the Esmeralda in the XP lane. But I think it's not... If the Esmeralda is good and plays it safe, she shouldn't get beat out outright from this Hylos. And hopefully Ziggy can hold his own here.
And I mean, we're seeing some solid management. Both teams are neck to neck right now. No one really engaging just yet. But we are seeing a three-man rotate, possibly on this Karina here.
Yeah.
She said, I'm out of here. Nope.
Yeah, you can tell we're in the playoffs right now. They are kind of respecting each other's space here, but it's going to come down to, like you said, these turtles and what they do after that. It looks like we are cutting lane a little bit here.
Ziggy forced to use a falling star moon over the wall to get away from Easy Peasy. He is kind of on the chase. Nikto hammering down on this turtle. The reset does come in from Hendrix. A nice wall placement. Buy some time, but TSU wants to continue this push. Here comes Fleur coming around. A nice check into that bush. Does some damage. Juju now rotating up a wall this time to create space. Can Easy Peasy steal the turtle? He does, and now it looks like these Knights pressing the advantage here. Dogtor takes some damage, and down goes Nikto. Juju securing the kill, Private.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like that might have been... I was about to say that they are down that falling Moonstar for that engagement, which really would have helped them to be able to go in there. And once they saw that ult was down, they knew it was time to start taking the turtle. Hendrick very smartly using that wall to reset the turtle, and then the rest of the team was already up in there, all of their ults in there, and able to get pick up a kill off of that and the turtle.
Yeah, Japanese doing a good job, though, up here in the gold lane, keeping Darwin at a disadvantage. You know, one thing I got to point out, too, TSU not really... Wait a second, Tamal with the Numenon Blast, a nice flicker! Darwin able to get the kill. A nice gang from the side of TSU, bringing it down to 1-1, G.
Man, that was... See, and that's what we'd like to see from Lolita. That was like, there's no way she could have been interrupted. She immediately flickered, ulted right at the same exact time, and that's what we want to see from her. And I mean, we're seeing it. It's not too much of a gold lead, but there is a slight gold lead for TSU. So I want to see if Deuce Nice can pull this back. See what's going down. Who's going to fight for the next turtle? Are they going to take the next turtle, or are they going to more prioritize turrets? What's your take, Private?
I think right now they're going to go ahead and start going for these lanes right now. There is a turtle coming up. It just depends on what we are doing beforehand. Like I said, like the earliest, the first turtle, they did end up wasting that falling moon. Look, we have a gamer coming here.
From Hendrickle, the Newman on Black does connect, but still not able to get the stun. She popped it too early, trying to save her teammates. Nikto using that last insanity just to try to escape. Tamal now on the run, but Darwin on the trail with the shotgun out, gets that kill. A nice pick from the side of Deuce Knights, taking the turtle and 2 kills for themselves, putting them at a little bit of a gold lead here, G.
Wow. Let me tell you that Grok's wall in the CC was a key play right there. That wall, it literally separated their team into almost 2. And then just all of Deuce Knight just collapsed on those 2 people that were behind that wall. That was amazing. Amazing secure right there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this early game, that's why I was so keen on Deuce Knights, and it looks like Doctor actually might be caught here.
But wait, the last one, Sandy comes in, able to get the kill onto Hendrickle. Zol, easy peasy, goes down next. My guess is they want to focus in on Darwin here. A nice snipe shot landing onto Nikto, and they might just be taking this tower. Japanese sitting at 1-0 now, getting plenty of gold plating, and they're going to eat away at this tower. We are back in 4th right now, boys. First game of the playoffs, G.
Man, it's wild right now. I feel like securing a kill on that Grok, stopping him from farming early on in the early game right there was key. He's just being too nasty on his rotations, and like he's killing a lot of the squishies here. And he's being really good at placing the wall, so Hendrick's doing a really great job. But both teams they're just swinging at each other back and forth. You don't know who's gonna go down, and they're giving it all their all. What's your take, Private?
Well, it seems like the organized fights are going into the favor of Deuce Knights. Oof. And there goes Grok with a beautiful kill onto Lolita there. But it's just that they're getting caught out, Deuce Knights, right now. And as this game goes on a little further, I do believe that Dog Tour and Japanese are going to start coming online. Ziggy with that CC is going to start coming online. So we're going to start seeing probably a shift in it. And that's why I said it's really key for Deuce Knights to kind of keep this lead and try not to be making those mistakes where they get caught out, because they're winning these team fights.
Yeah. I mean, they are definitely... I mean, it's honestly, I can't say they're exactly winning these team fights. It's still a close match. I mean, we are in the middle. Easy peasy diving onto the tower. Takes too many tower shots. The wall kind of works at a disadvantage. In comes Dog Tour. Using that Grok ult to get the knockdown. But is biting off more than he can choose. Ziggy trying to get the save. Forced to use that flicker. Trying to re-engage. Will Hendrickle all go down here? Ziggy on the chase. Is not able to get the kill. But in the top lane, we do see Dog Tour getting another pick off onto Darwin. And I gotta point out just what Priv8 said earlier. Japanese may be the real player that Deuce Knights needs to worry about here. I mentioned it before, the Clint mechanics have always been nice for the side of TSU, and I like that they're finally bringing it back into the playing field for the finals here. Hendrick was all now taking a bit of damage as the turtle comes up, G.
Oh man, but then the Grok almost, if he had a team just there to get on there. On that wall, it would have been nice, but definitely that Clint, the bush camp to push that Grok back, control that turtle, take care of, and then side out all of Deuce Knight right there. Ooh, Lolita will get
on blast. What a combo right there. Dog Tour though taking a bit of damage, caught it a bat, a nice wall from Hendricks, and easy peasy gets the kill, make it a double. Japanese now on the run, takes some damage from Fleur, but able to get away. They are trading blow for blow right now, Priv8.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because I noticed these little plays that can sometimes be overlooked here. I'm not really sure. I think Juju's just going to be trying to get out of here right now. But Valentina, when Grok first engaged, and it was 3 of them on there, Grok was coming in for his big swing, and Valentina waited on her, I don't even know what to call it, her spray that fears them. She waited until he was about to spin on her, sprayed him, and feared him out of it, so he wasn't able to do the damage while he was right next to her. And it just deals little plays like that. You're starting to see them start getting a little bit more adjusted, a little bit more set down here, and TSU's just getting more comfortable, so they're going to need to start watching out.
Yeah, and they are. I like the aggression that we're starting to see from them. I feel like they're hitting that mid-game spike. Japanese doing more and more damage. Easy peasy trying to get the kill on Kamal. Can he get away? A big engage from Ziggy with that falling Star Moon right on top of 3. And it looks like TSU's coming out on top. Kamal does go down along with Juju. A 1-for-1 trade on the map. Man, they are just wondering if they're going to be able to take this tower. Japanese keeping the pressure. He wants to do as much damage as possible. Fleur tries to catch him. He gets the kill. Flickers out. And a nice outplay from Japanese right there.
Dude, this Clint is on a whole nother level right now. Dude's like a hat trick, and he's just literally just coming in. He knows all of his abilities and battle spells, and is just making well use of them, getting those easy picks and those trade-offs. I mean, Deuce Knights did have almost a couple 100 gold lead, and then just that one play by Clint has evened out the battlefield once again. So this is just a back and forth brawl. Everybody's just swinging. You don't know who's going to get it. It's just towers are equal almost. It's just, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's interesting that we talked about this Lolita pick earlier during the draft, because during these team fights now, you see it. You would almost be mistaken to know which team has 2 tanks on their team, because Deuce Knights is actually getting burst down very quickly, and I was kind of trying to figure out what is keeping TSU up during these fights, and that passive from Lolita here, giving them the shield while they go in. You still have that Nikto that's able to put so much damage on them. Tamal, it's just. They just don't seem like they're doing the damage, Deuce Knights, to TSU that's going to be able to finish these fights right now, and it definitely not how they were doing in early game.
Yeah, now the Japanese just locked in that Malefic Roar. He's going to be picking even more away at these tankier heroes. And, I think it's combination of that. Not only that, but also Nikto doing this true damage on this X-Borg, being able to chip away piece by piece. And then, you just have Japanese in the back line here bursting them down. 3-0, 7,700 gold right now. With the wall of Ziggy, Nikto, and Dr. Fleur goes down. Another kill going to the hands of Japanese, and this is what I mean. The burst damage is just insane from Clint right now.
Yeah, it looked like could be just one of the fallouts of Deuce Knight is they're going Karina tank. She had so many tank items, so I'm thinking that's where they're falling off right now, is that their jungle just doesn't have the damage output right now.
Oh, members are going down. Hectic was all taken out by the last Insanity. Dogtor does pay the price for this Lord, but it's a 3-for-1 trade with a Lord into the hands of TSU. Finally, TSU bringing their A game to a match, and they are doing it well. And I think it's just, there's just not enough oh, wait a second. A nice umbrella coming from Fleur. The immortality does pop. Last Insanity comes in to try to help the getaway. And Nikto is going to be able to escape from that push on the side of Deuce Knights. But I missaid it. Deuce Knights actually steal the Lord there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they definitely need this little breathing room right now, because, like you said, they have the Karina on tank mode, so your only real damage is going to be Darwin and Fleur. I guess Hendrix, but I'm assuming that he's going to be building a little bit more tank rather than like an assassin Grok. Yeah, he's all tank. So there's only 2 real main people that are going to be your damage dealers on that side. And right now, it's not doing enough. Maybe the answer will be during late game when if they get there. But right now, it's looking a little iffy with these engagements.
Yeah, and we see some key plays here. Beatrix taking that easy approach to the power while everybody's in mid. Doing the counter plays and just pushing those lanes, and that's what Deuce Knights needs to do right now. They've seen that they've been bursted down, and they need to utilize this Lord to secure a couple towers. We're looking at some really good gameplay here.
Yeah, we're creeping into this 12-minute mark, 13-minute mark, and I gotta agree with Priv8. I just don't think there's gonna be enough damage for the side of Deuce Knights here. Yes, they have a nice front line, but it's gonna be all down to Fleur, and as they do engage, down goes Fleur, down goes the damage dealer. Nikto with the last Insanity coming in will get stunned up. Tamal trying to get away. Juju chasing them down, but Nikto able to kite quite well with that first skill, just chipping away with that true damage. Tamal with the Newman on blast will get picked off, though. Force the flicker away, but here comes Ziggy with the falling Star Moon to execute onto Juju. But now Nikto back in the game with the chase. Last Insanity coming in on the easy peasy, securing the kill. TSU advancing forward, Priv8.
Yeah, they chased him halfway across.
Oh my god, hold on. A full team wipe.
Oh, bro.
They just can't. I mean, this is, I think, you know, not only did Xborg do well against the Karina, but it's also doing well against all of the other tanky heroes, being able to just kite and constantly output damage. And the thing is, they don't need a jungler to be the insane damage dealer. They have Clint, who can do that from the back line. So having, I think, Xborg as one of those front liners who does a little bit of damage, but also tanks and creates space for Japanese to move around is just working out so well for the side of TSU right now.
No, I mean, we're seeing some really key plays here. Priv8, if you had to pick, man, who do you think's your MVP right now?
Right now it's gonna have to be Nikto on that Xborg. He's just had such an effect on this match with the true damage and the damage that he's been getting out. And it does seem like that TSU just does have more AOE damage to be dispersing out there. With the Esmeralda, the Valentina, the Nikto, even in small effect, the Clint there does hit more than one person. So when they engage, they're able to just splash that damage onto so many players at once, especially with how tight they have to group to try to chase down TSU.
It's going to be interesting. We are seeing some contest of this Lord, though, just slightly.
Look at Fleur over in this bush right now, just waiting for the moment. A nice new on Blast. The thing is they need to focus on Fleur and Hendrix, make sure the steal does not come in from that side. Nikto chipping away, easy peasy. Last Insanity comes in. He is able to secure that Lord, takes a stun from Juju, and in the back, Tamal trying to defend Dogpour, but Dogpour will go down as easy peasy gets a kill. Japanese able to flicker away. Can he outplay easy peasy right here? In comes Tamal to help with the stun. Japanese re-engaging. That is going to be a pick off. The immortality comes down, but I don't see him escaping this. Possibly a nice play from the side of Deuce Knights trying to defend. The problem is his Lord is crashing down the mid right now. Darwin all on his lonesome. Japanese gets the kill. Last Insanity comes in, and this could be game one for the side of TSU. Advancing forward, chipping away at this Nexus. Japanese is here. They don't have a wave of minions, but it only needs a couple shots. I think someone just needs to tank it. Someone needs to do it. TSU will take game one.
Yeah, I don't want to be questioning in the playoffs here, but like that tank build that was nerfed a long time ago on, well, not, I don't want to say a long time ago. It was a few patches now where they went ahead and nerfed how she scales with those tank items. And I'm not sure if that was just because of how quickly Easy Peasy was taking damage in these team fights, or if this was the plan the entire time. Because if it was the plan the entire time, I kind of disagree with it, just because of the like we were saying, like the damage just was not there. Even mid to late game, the early game, yeah, they were able to get these pickoffs and these good team fights, but that seemed more like it was on the mistakes of TSU rather than the aggression of Deuce Knights. So, and then once they got TSU got their team fights and their organization together, there really wasn't much that Deuce Knights could do.
Yeah. You've seen the mid tier fall off right there. As soon as mid game hit, just Deuce Knight just completely fell.
You know, you gotta give it up to Japanese though on this Clint, man. 6-0 and 9, and I mean also the Xborg pick definitely came in clutch, and he used it. He used it mechanically the way he should have. You know, just creating space, the whole team creating space for Japanese to work around. And once that mid game came in, you know, it seemed like Deuce Knights kind of had their hands on the handles for the beginning of that game, but TSU just buying enough time to hit that spike, and then once Japanese started rotating to that mid lane, getting himself around the map, you just saw you saw all of them just start falling apart in these team fights, and TSU does a great job. So can Deuce Knights turn this around and make this go to game 3 here?
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Go for it, Private.
They can definitely turn it around, but it's going to come down to comps and how they're using that. Like I said, I wasn't a really big fan of the Karina tank, and then with the comp, while they did have tankiness, they just didn't really have that damage output that they needed to be able to do much against TSU here. And they gave up some really good picks here too. And then the rotations, like I said, they did catch Esmeralda rotating once, able to get her to use her Falling Moonstar. That's where they were able to sync their fights. And or they were able to win that fight. However, once they got grouped back up, it was kind of like endgame from there. So what they're going to need to probably do is to start taking care. They need to set up these fights instead of just going in it, because what happened here is that the 5v5 was not on the side of Deuce Knights. What they needed to do was to try to get one of those players and get them isolated in the side lane, maybe push that lane in, get them to either back into that to protect that tower, or at least maybe get a free tower of it. There needs to be something done to kind of combat the picks that are happening from TSU here.
Yeah, I want to say Beatrix and maybe the Grok just weren't good picks. Beatrix did receive a huge nerf again, further nerfing her early on a lot of her weapons as well. So I just don't know if Beatrix as a marksman is viable. I mean, we've seen that she didn't really have much damage in that play right there. But we're going into this next game. We're already seeing Clint get banned. Deuce Knight said, get him out of here. Don't want it. Can't do it. What's your take, Private?
Yeah, I want to see what kind of, looks like we do already go ahead with that Ling. They do not want to see Easy Peasy on that Ling, and I'm wondering if Easy Peasy has something else outside of the Ling and Lance and perhaps the Karina pool that he can pull out here that he is just as great on.
Yeah, I
think the problem is for. I'm wondering if Easy Peasy does have the ability to do, is this the kryptonite for Deuce Knights right now, banning out that Ling, taking away some of those assassins, and then, because Ling's not as easy to counter, and TSU knows that if he goes for the pick like Karina, if he goes for something that they know they can create space with, then they have the counter for it. So Deuce Knights need to come up with something on the fly that is going to be able to handle these bans that are getting targeted at Easy Peasy right now.
I mean, we're seeing some very targeted bans besides the Masha, at least right now. I'm just like you were saying, T-Rex, like, are they the Karina, of course, was a great pick. I just don't feel like it was a tank Karina game, they already had enough tankiness. They needed damage. So it's just going to come down to what they pick. And Valentina was a good ban. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, they're definitely not wanting to see Deuce Knights on that Valentina since they're going to have the first pick here. And like I said, they did take out. So I'm wondering here, are you going to be leaving open the Lance, or are you going to be leaving open the Maya? Because they did ban that before. Definitely didn't want to see Juju on that. Or are they going to give Easy Peasy his comfort pick here? So it's interesting to see. But neither of those are really first picks. So
I mean, most definitely not. What I gotta say though is TSU seems a bit more. They seem a bit more like us, like we said, kind of. I like their bans. I'm wondering about the Masha ban. You have first pick. Like, if it's that fearsome and you're that worried about it, why not leave it open for yourself? Same thing with the Yu Zong. I mean, yes, it's a good ban, but I just feel like you could be focusing down on TSU's hero pool a little bit more right now.
And that comes across to that comes across as, what do you are you going to be banning their pool, or are you setting up your comp? Yu Zong, just known for being able to reach that back line and do so much damage to those casters and those marksmen that can do so much from the back line. Like, so are they planning on having a back line here with that front coming from Esmeralda? So I mean, it might come down to them planning out their comp as well. And looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up a Grok here to kind of show them how it's done.
Both. They're taking shots right now.
Definitely taking. I mean, one thing I can say is Tamal is a monster of a tank, and he wasn't. There was a few days where he wasn't on, so I'm glad Tamal is back in for the playoffs. Not only that, but Dog Tour also here. I feel like TSU. I was worried that they were going to bring their A game, and currently they definitely are. Easy Peasy locking in this Paquito. We know he's done well with it, but if Tamal can place those walls down correctly, does Easy Peasy go through the Grok wall with his dash?
He does.
Are you asking?
Paquito
Yeah,
does? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that comes to the point. Yeah. Walls can't stop Paquito and can't save you from it. But
breaking through them.
Yeah, but that does depend on how you're placing them. Are you placing them so that when he does dash through those walls, he's essentially separating himself from the rest of his team? So and that's one thing to think about with that. Oh, and then a nice heavy tank from Boxia here to kind of counter that.
I think TSU's gonna try to show Deuce Knight what a double support build's like, but Boxia is red, and it is their jungle.
You know, this didn't work for them last time. This is what I was worried about. This is something TSU has been trying in some of their later games. Some of the end game season, they were running this double tank, and it just wasn't, they weren't able to secure any big wins with it. So I'm worried that they're, you know, yes, they feel comfortable. We won the first game. Let's try it again. But it's a scary place to be right now watching this.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah, and it is. I mean,
your team is
I just can't. I can't. You know. I can't believe that they're gonna go this double tank, even jungle route. You know, like we've seen it even in M3. We've seen the high-lows come, and with this was before even the giant tank pick. Just the combination of the ret and the tanks. They did stop the Farza to be able to stop that backline push. But let's see what mage they pick, man, to counter this Lilia.
Yeah, they did go ahead and ban out the Lolita. I'm not sure if their comp really, if Lolita would have actually even been a good pick here for the side of Deuce Knights anyway, because there really wasn't much for Lolita to do against a tank comp, really. She can slow them down with that Luminal Blast and then set up her team. And then, yeah, I guess, and then you could have Esmeralda and Fleur go in there with the bombs and that ult from Esmeralda. So I guess we're going to see how well these comps are going to be shaping up here.
Now, this is something that I was thinking may end up happening, right? So the Beatrix pick could be flex here. Could be. I was thinking, you know, one thing about Beatrix, especially I've seen TSU do it, you can run it in the mid lane if you want. And now with this Lunox pick, also a possible pick for the gold lane here. So, you know, they have flexibility on whatever ends up being the marksman pick, which is going to be Juju on this Mia here. But they have flexibility to decide where they want to put this. Hendrik all locking in this Matilda. And honestly, you know, yes, it does work well with the Paquito, but I have not been crazy about Matilda this season thus far.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing here, though, is that Deuce Knight is the most mobile team I've ever seen. They are going to be chasing. And then we're looking also at TSU side. They hardly have too much CC. So it's going to be an interesting play and an interesting go here, you know? But Doroth was a good last pick.
Yeah, not just chasing, but the ability to be able to disengage here. However, I do want to talk about Juju because we did notice that in that last match on Sunday, Juju did have a lot of problems against another Lunox in lane, and it wasn't until late game where Juju was actually able to farm up and actually be a part of these team fights. But before that, he was having a lot of trouble. So I'm hoping that he's learned from that and is going to be able to kind of keep his lane up as this game progresses.
I mean, we will see. I do like the Dairoth pick to counter this Esmeralda. It's become more and more popular as we've been moving forward in the past couple months. Even overseas, it is a very popular pick to deal with this Esmeralda, who is essentially the queen of the EXP lane right now. The question is Dogtor going to be comfortable on it enough to be able to put up with Darwin on this Esmeralda? What I do also like to see is Darwin and Dogtor both no longer in the gold lane, but still against each other in the EXP lane here. Or no, Doctor was in the EXP lane last game, so I'm so used to him playing gold.
Yeah. And I mean, we're looking at solid comps here. I mean, you were thinking that possibly the Lunox could have been flexed and the Beatrix going towards more to the mid, which would have been an interesting play. So seeing that, we are looking at TSU already securing the Little Wonder, so no biggie there. Doesn't look like there's too much going on, but maybe a three-man push here on this Boxia's jungle.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I think Paquito's caught out a little bit here. If he's gonna be able to catch this, just misses the
retry. Not known for Easy Peasy to make that kind of mistake, man.
Yeah. And that honestly right there, that's kind of stalling out Easy Peasy a bit here now. So we're gonna have a little bit of a late ganks on the side of Deuce Knights.
Yeah, not only that, but one thing I like from Deuce Knights, though, right now, I have to say, is they're really focusing on that gold lane last game. They know that Japanese can be a monster in the gold lane, and they want to try to keep him at a disadvantage. But look at Dr. and Nikto engaging onto this red buff. You want to bully us, we're going to bully you back, and Nikto does get the steal on that. And this is a bad position for Easy Peasy. Nikto coming in onto Hendrik Levzal, doing some nice damage, slowing him down, taking a slight jab from Easy Peasy, forced to back off. But still, the goal was completed. You took the red buff, and you're slowing Easy Peasy down more and more and more. Doctor forced to flicker away, but I still think it's a win from the side of TSU there.
Yeah, and it looks like right now it's going to come down to who's going to be the most aggressive while still not losing their lane presence and their lane gold. Because you've seen that right now already that Easy Peasy went, invaded the jungle, didn't make anything happen from it, and that's going to kind of cost him because he doesn't have 4 while they're getting the turtle here right now.
Yeah, now they're able to get the turtle. I mean, at this point, TSU kind of took a back, they played it slow last game, but this time, I don't even know if they wanted to play aggressive up front, but I think that they capitalized on that one mess up from Easy Peasy with the invade, messing up on the retribution, and it just shows that they're able to switch gears so fast and know, like, okay, he messed up, let's take advantage of this. Let's invade, let's put pressure on. We do have a bit of advantage. Jamal, though, taking some damage, but I like the play from them, and I like the ability of them to be able to change up what their original plan was.
Nikto's still able to grab this gold crab. Easy Peasy is having a rough of it. He really needs to kind of like take a breath, gather his wits back up, and like get organized back with his team.
They're really punishing the size of Deuce Knight right now, and I mean we're looking at just the Beatrix is just bullying. Oh
that
my
is
God,
rough.
Keto. He is just...
He's having a bad...
Dude is good. He's going to be behind.
I thought he could dash through that wall, guys. I thought... I mean, of course he can, but still, I mean, with the amount of CC coming in, and Nikto just all over the place. And with that speed boost, he's making this this jungle Basha work pretty well. A little bit of an engage. Japanese trying to get the pick on to Hendrik Levzal, not quite able to get the kill, but they have already taken all of that gold plating in the top lane here, G.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at TSU just having such an insane gold lead right now. That if they take this first tower and then rock this, what in the world?
Worth it.
Tower take.
Worth it.
Totally worth it.
Worth it all day.
100% to secure a tower take right there.
Not only that, but you got the kill and the tower for what? For your tank? That, I mean, a great trade, I think, on the book. And Dogtor completely outplaying Darwin in the XP lane right now. Also, is taking some damage, though. Easy Peasy trying to connect. Both of them forced to flicker. He's not going to be able to escape that Soaring Eagle, though. Hendrik Levzal secures the kill, but now in a slightly bad position himself. The wall comes up. He's able to dash through the turtle pit wall to get away. But right now, TSU holding a nice gold lead here, Private.
Yeah, not a lot of CC for as soon as Hendrik starts coming online, he's going to be kind of the key, I want to say, here for this match, because they don't really have a lot of CC to deal with Hendrik. So he's going to be able to kind of like just move his position and trust his will on these matches, and it's going to be up to him to be able to get his team into position, or likewise be able to get them to help them disengage. But Darwin might be in trouble here.
Yeah, he's taking some damage, bursted down, locked up, and this is why the Dairoth does good against the Esmeralda. You're able to slow her down. You're able to get the CC on her. You're able to keep up and then just burst her down, especially when you have someone else coming in. And one thing I got to point out, TSU, I don't know where. I mean, they've been whipping with this double tank composition. They have been playing it horribly, and I'm not scared to say that. But this time they're playing it correctly. Ziggy, though, takes a bit of damage from Easy Peasy. Tamal on the chase. Will they be able to take Fleur? A nice wall from Tamal, forcing the flicker from Fleur, and they're able to get away there. But still, I mean, they've been taking so many buffs from Easy Peasy recently. Just doing a great job in this match right here, G.
Yeah, and man, they're having decent gold lead. I think they did just lose tower on TSU side though, so we do see Deuce Knight coming back, showing them that they're not gonna just sit there and take this. But I think they solely need to focus on objectives right now. Even though the kills aren't too much of a difference here, but we're looking like a maybe. Nope, they're not gonna engage here. They're holding back. Like I said, they just need to fight for objectives. Stop being cut off in the weird areas and just being killed randomly, you know?
Yeah,
and it might start to even out here. Well, we do have a turtle coming up here, and I'm not sure that they're going to actually be able to contest this. Looks like they're thinking about it. They got that quick. But what's happening here? What's different is that Dogtor is just bullying Darwin's lane.
A nice knockout punch from Easy Peasy, but he's taken out by Basha quite quickly. Juju though making some plays. She's forced to flick her way, but Japanese will get the kill, make it a double, make it a full team wipe from TSU. Just not enough time for Deuce Knights to scale right now, and there just seems to be a little bit too much CC. Tamal placing those walls down so well. Nikto showing his presence all over the map with this jungle Basha, really having a chokehold on Deuce Knights right now. Private.
Yeah, was that Juju? No, that wasn't Juju. Who was that was trapped in that wall, desperately trying to get to their tower at the last over there? But what I was saying though is that like at the early game here, you had Dogtor able to clear his lane so quickly, bully Esmeralda, and at one point rotated to the top of the map to help with a 5v4 onto Deuce Knights. So like they've just been all over the map so quickly, while Esmeralda has barely been able to catch their breath, and definitely Easy Peasy hasn't been able to catch his breath. He's on ventilator right now.
Dude's fighting for his life, literally.
Got the oxygen hooked up. No, I mean, honestly, but Easy, we know, I mean, you can tell he's he's using the mechanics of his hero right now to the best of his ability. The problem is he's just fallen too behind. Too many buffs have been taken. Another huge engage from Tamal, lined up with Japanese's ultimate, getting a nice double kill. And there's just nothing Deuce Knights can do. They just need to try to maybe buy some time here. Easy Peasy trying to make a play, but he just can't output the damage onto these two tanky front lines. Fleur may be next, taken out, picked off, thrown to the dogs. TSU moving forward now. Easy Peasy will be next. Another kill going to the hands of Japanese, putting them at 5-0 right now.
I think all of Deuce Knight might be on a life alert.
Yeah, they're just having trouble trying to come back. I was just talking about how it was such trouble for TSU to try to come back from on their back foot. We did kind of see this before on Sunday when Deuce Knights was having trouble with that Barats, but it wasn't to this degree. Easy Peasy still had that comfort pick that he was on with that Ling. Wasn't able to bring down Barats, but was still able to get away most of his engagements. Over here, he's not even able to get his buffs right now. They basically have opened up the entire jungle of Deuce Knights right now, and it's basically letting them know like this is ours now.
Yeah, what deficit Deuce Knights in right now is just it's what all pro teams do right now. Is they're clinching in, they're choking them out. There's just not much they can do. They're pushing in all of the towers. They only have their inhibitors left. This comes down to key plays.
These are the key plays. A nice engage from Tamal with the knockup. Easy Peasy, Juju both down. TSU showing more aggression than we've seen in several games. Coming in, taking that inhibitor. Japanese has locked in the Malefic Roar. Dogtor is picked off from Magic Loves All, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Darwin just trying to defend, buy some more time to get Juju and Easy Peasy online here. They are going to be able to defend this siege, but look at that burst damage from Japanese right now, taking Easy Peasy to half health with one snipe shot.
This is a difficult deficit to get out of, man. There's not much you can do.
Tamal just flickered in with that wild charge and surprised the socks off of Juju. And he got taken out so quickly. That right there, oh man, It's like, what do you do? They were where they were supposed to be. Maybe he should have been a little bit farther away from the tower, but they're at such a deficit that G was saying, there's not much you can do except for hope for a mistake. And right now TSU is like pretty sharp and like well organized. I haven't seen really many mistakes, save for like that first game where they got caught out and they paid for it. But right now they've kind of closed ranks and they're basically just having their way here, saving the lanes here. You can see Beatrix up there not really making any move. They want these lanes frozen for when the Lord comes back up so that they can kind of make this their last push.
Yeah, they're playing a good... I mean, they're definitely playing much... I was worried. I'm not going to lie. I was very worried TSU was just going to kind of flop again in the playoffs. I was worried they weren't going to bring the game, but they're playing completely different than what we've been watching them play the past several weeks. They are definitely on point. Their rotations, their movements, the setups coming from Tamal. This is the TSU that we have enjoyed watching in the past, and I'm excited. You know, if they win this game, I'm excited to see them go against Area 77 later tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, another big pick. Tentacles all shredded from Japanese. Japanese comes in for the kill, make it a double. He's on the chase. He wants another. He's hungry. Look at him chasing down Fleur right now. Not able to make it. Juju in the back line, though, is going to get the pick, but will get taken out all alone from Ziggy. And now TSU will push forward. This is the moment. 3 members down. The death counters aren't too high, so maybe Deuce Knights can survive a bit longer, but there is a wave crashing down the bottom. Tamal taking the forefront. Ziggy floating in, shreds down Fleur. No time for black shoes. You will get destroyed. Japanese closing in on the Nexus. This could be the game. No, you're not stopping Japanese here. They are going to push in, and Japanese will take the Nexus. It's a 2-0 sweep. TSU will face Area 77 in the semifinals.
They said they didn't even need Lord, bro. We're coming in with the minions. And then mopped it up right there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, honestly, there wasn't much in that last engagement that Deuce Knights could do. You either sit in your base, wait for them to come and get shoot up there, or you try to take the initiative, go out there, and try to make something happen. Yeah, unfortunately, it was basically probably a loss either with whatever choice that they had made. And it's better to go out fighting and swinging rather than having Grok flicker with a wild charge on you. Just clean your clock.
It was GG's. TSU securing the dub. I think they've showed that they're coming back. And I mean, this is what T-Rex is saying. This is the time. We're in the playoffs, baby. We can't just be joking around. Everybody needs to bring their A game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more games after this. Deuce Knights does make it to the playoffs very valiantly. I mean, they're definitely were they start off their season a little weak. They were able to come in and secure a playoff spot, so they made it. Yes, they do get knocked out from TSU, but I don't think this is going to be the end of Deuce Knights in the competitive Mobile Legends scenes for North America. And I'm excited to keep seeing them compete. They've been a team that have definitely won me over, and I think they've won a lot of people over, a lot of viewers over. But enough of that. TSU will be facing Area 77 in the last game tonight, but let's start talking about this next game. Let's get over to the caster's desk, because up next we have Insomniacs versus the Valley. Any take from you on this, Private?
So Insomniacs did have a little bit of trouble last week, and I know that they are not trying to. They're going to try to bring their A game here, and we've seen that from TSU. They made sure that their playoffs game they've honed all those things that Rex was a little critical of that double tank, that Boxia jungle. So are we going to be seeing that from Insomniacs as well? Because they're going to need it against the Valley. The Valley, as we've seen in every single game, so aggressive, so tight on all of their rotations, and it's just a force to be reckoned with. Even though their place might not show it on the current standings. I think they were 6th or 5th. I don't remember where they were, but it wasn't like up at the top 3. And so they're definitely going to be coming in here with something to prove, wanting to make it to that semifinals.
So we do actually have a little bit of time to kill here. I forgot to say, the next game isn't scheduled until 9 o'clock. So we are going to kill some time. I'm going to hang out. We're all going to hang out. Let me turn on my AC real fast.
It's getting hot in here for the playoff, baby.
It's getting really hot. And my camera's my camera's glitching out on me. Eiko, give us, do you think, so Insomniac's the team with, they got Pogi on their team. They got Area 77's jungler from many previous tournaments. I mean, the man is a monster in Lancelot. The man is a monster overall, considered one of the top junglers in the... I mean, I personally think in all of NA, top 3, top 5 all day. Will the Valley be able to compete against that? I know Priv8 mentioned that Insomniac's had a few issues, but the Valley also has had some issues. Eugen, I don't think he's going to be playing tonight, and he is like their star mage. The man is a monster on Selena and several other mages, and I do not think he's going to make it. They had to fill in for him about a week ago, and I think at this point, Eugen may just not be competing for the rest of the season. I'm going to turn on my AC real fast.
Hopefully there's nothing going on with them. But hey, I mean, I've seen the Valley exceed. I've not seen too many of the games from Insomniacs, but we're in the playoffs. So, I mean, both teams are definitely going to be hitters. It's just going to be a matter of who's adjusting to the current meta, who's picking what characters now, and then learning new characters if they need to fill in. But as T-Rex was saying, I mean, losing key players like that can be a hard hit for a team in the playoffs. What's your take, Priv8?
Yeah, just so many factors that come into this, especially with that losing players. And we did see, and I always kind of go back to the last match because it is the story of TSU kind of coming into the meta and finally settling down and figuring out what works. So that's going to be the story here. Do these teams, have they settled into that new meta? Those tanks, those Boxias, the Groks, and be able to use them to their full potential, and that's what it's going to come down to for these matches here, and how well they can adjust.
And I mean, losing key players are just terrible. But the cool thing though is, I mean, a lot of the teams we've been seeing have been implementing and taking like other like people from other teams. As we can see, there's going to be someone on Area 77 in Insomniac. So it's crazy that that people are doing it. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. The tournament allows it. So as long as you're signed up, let's get it.
Well, yeah, so Insomniacs has had Pogi since the beginning. It's been their areas. I don't know, Area 77, I don't know why Pogi ended up playing for Insomniacs this season or what happened, but there was just some player swaps. Merciless and Pogi played for Insomniacs this season, which are both members of Area 77. And I don't know if that's going to be a continuous thing, like in the upcoming NACT. I know that Insomniacs did register, and I didn't pay complete attention to whether Pogi was still playing for them. And if this is possibly a permanent switch, like a permanent roster change, it's something that we'll just have to see as time moves forward.
And if that is a permanent roster change, if they've been practicing like that, because like you said, what's it called? The Valley didn't have to change out a player like a week ago. So do they have the synchronization, the cohesion with that new player that Insomniacs have, that because they've been playing with these same players all league? Is that going to become a factor as well?
True.
Yeah, I mean,
T-Rex, you want to use the second to shout out this
big shout out, yo.
Hey, give them a good loving.
Big shout out, guys. It's shout out time. It's your favorite time of the night. Big shout out to all of my mods. Exia in the chat right now. Thank you for modding. To the people that are doing VC checks tonight: Maysky, Ritz, Rita, Sakira, Diosito. Even though I haven't seen you in a while, hopefully you're okay. He was a data collector that we haven't been able to get contacts. So anyone knows where he's at, let us know. Ravi for doing the overlays. Mr. Sparrow for doing some of the highlight videos recently. Appreciate it to everybody, seriously. Big shout out to the casters like Eiko, Priv8. I pointed the wrong way, like Priv8 and Aiko. Ben one had it. Tank, even though you guys aren't casting anymore, big shout out to you guys. You were around for a long time, and I appreciate it. Exia, we might be seeing more of her in the future.
Nudge, nudge.
Nudge, nudge. And everyone else who has Phantom, Ryan Rumbles, all you guys, Moon Pie, who casted for one day. Everybody, I really appreciate it. But most of all, big shout out to our main sponsor this season, and that is United Farmers X. They are a cryptocurrency company that, in my personal opinion, what I like about them is that they are very transparent. They're willing to answer any questions you have. If you don't know anything about crypto, or you don't know anything about investing into it to make some passive income, they have plenty of people who are openly willing to answer your questions in their Discord, in their Reddit. They have a YouTube. They have plenty of links that you can go and get information on them, and all of that information is in the description below. So if you got a little bit extra cash and you sitting in your savings, feel free to check them out if you want to try to make some passive income. I personally put a little bit of money into crypto here and there, make a quick $50 every once in a while. It does work. You just gotta know what you're doing, and most of all, they've took an interest in Mobile Legends esports, and I appreciate that. And without them, it would have definitely been a lot harder to keep this season going.
Yeah, no, great sponsors, 100%. A lot of time we all put into things too, you know. It's always good to get some love. I've actually had quite a few people stop by my stream and drop some stars, so much love to the community that we got going here.
Yeah, I also want to shout out the 2 members that we've had. Des174, thank you for becoming a supporter of the YouTube channel. The other one, KS Chief, thank you for becoming a supporter of the YouTube channel. If you guys want to help support the channel, feel free to become a member. We will have a lot more benefits for the next season. We'll have exclusive emojis, all that types of stuff. I've just been so busy this season that, and we only got the membership privilege recently. Also, to everyone that donated to the GoFundMe, we hit our $1,000 goal for the GoFundMe, so that helps me give money to the mods and all of the people that have been helping out behind the scenes. It helps pay them. So if you want to find a way to kind of give back to this league, or you're interested in helping support, that money is not 10% of that money goes to me. All the rest goes to prize pool. I have it all mapped out in the GoFundMe, so if you want to check that out, all you have to do is type !donate, which we're gonna do right now, and you will get a link to that. I haven't checked in a few days. I think it's still at $1,000. We did raise it up to 2,000, but I'm not really guessing we're gonna make it to that. But again, if you want to jump into that, feel free. Make sure you guys also give Priv8 and Aiko a follow, man. Check out their info. Aiko's a Facebook streamer. Priv8 streams on Twitch. You guys will be seeing a lot more of them as more tournaments and more events come. So feel free to show some love, give them a follow, and all that good stuff. And yeah, anything from you guys?
We're just chilling. I like it. I mean, you shouted us out. I appreciate it. You know, much love to everybody that stops by any of our channels. I'm glad to be here. It's fun being a shoutcaster, and we're always growing, man.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. And it's just being able to kind of be inside there with the rest of the North American community here. Just especially on Twitch, I'm not sure. I'm sure the same is. I've heard from Exia the same on Facebook. Just such a supportive community, and then here on on YouTube as well. But yeah, it's been an exciting time, especially the last 2 weeks. It's just been so much going on with the update, with Mobile Legends in general, and for NA, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely it's been a lot of fun recently, and I think just the fact of a lot of the it's always been a goal of mine to kind of bring together some of the content creators. I think we work better together than divided, and it's been awesome, all of the people that have been coming together for this event and just for events in total. I feel like Mobile Legends, a lot of the content creators from the past several years have kind of been more solo, and I just feel like a lot of us have been bringing in this new regimen of creating content together, putting out events like this and doing things and working together and pushing Mobile Legends in North America as a whole. And it's just been an amazing feeling to kind of be at the forefront of that and be working on that together.
T-Rex was the first person I'm pretty sure that reached out to me when I first started streaming, so definitely shout out to T-Rex, man. We've been together for quite a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much all of my Mobile Legend career so far, and not one event has been like mind-blowing. You know, it's always blowing my mind what he can do, what he can put through, and the people he brings together. Big shout out to T-Rex, man.
Yeah, it's definitely always been a lot of fun, I think, and I'm super excited for future events to come. You know, we got this NACT coming up. We got so many more things coming up, so many more things planned. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. There's like 200 y'all watching. We shouldn't have 64 likes. Stop slacking. Don't be a noob. Anything from you, Private?
Oh, shots!
No, I was about to ask too. That NACT as the signups are still open for that, or has it closed officially?
They extended signups to the 2nd. So you can still sign up for the North American Community Tournament in the Discord channel if you want to. I'm pretty sure we just hit our 64 teams mark, or we're close to it. So if you want, you can still sign up. You can still get in on it. $4,000 prize pool, 250,000 diamonds. Everybody walks away with something, whether it's just diamonds or what. Even if you come in last place, you get a little bit of diamonds in your pocket. You could buy yourself an emote or something. Go get yourself a candy bar. All that good stuff.
So, Eiko, this patch, what's been your favorite character to see?
So the beginning, first patch, Masha was insane. 1v5s was blowing me out of the water, two-shotting me in the lane. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing here is that they're reviving a lot of the damage that our tank's going, and they're mixing things up. You know, it's not so reliant on the jungle. Sometimes it can come down to the jungle, but it definitely tanks. I love the new defensive item they put in, the iron leggings. Just being able to have other counters. Swapping up the blade armor is now carrying the crit and counters the basic attack heroes. So, man, I'm happy, like slightly happy that they've kind of stopped this Beatrix. But the one thing that I'm wanting to see a lot more of is Wanwan, man. You don't know how many times I've stepped into 5v5 matches this season, and I've seen Wanwan's just obliterate a team, completely gets a savage. Like, I'm wanting to see more of her in the tournament to come.
Yeah, she's definitely with Team Sexy, as Zia is basically a Wanwan connoisseur, just so I was gonna say disgusting on that Wanwan even before the patch came out. So definitely probably going to see that from him unless it gets banned out. For me, the favorite has been I like Assassin Grok because I play it, but watching, I love seeing the Beleric now, just because especially moving up the ranks as the season just reset. You get a lot of people just who haven't really, they're not really aware of what's going on. You get those, like we even saw in the tournament, Claude came in with that ult to a Beleric with
and
vengeance,
murdered himself.
with that blade.
He murdered himself.
Just tornadoed himself into a coma.
I mean, me and Private are watching this happen, and I'm literally just like, do you know what just killed him, Private? Do you know what just killed him? Blade armor and Beleric just killed him. Nothing else. No one touched that man. He just murdered himself by jumping into a group and ulting. I mean, pure insanity. Pure insanity.
Yeah, I feel like this patch, one of the pluses is it is, I don't want to say punishing, well, I guess it is. It's punishing those people who just basically attack anything that comes at them. And so when that tank is the first one to come out, and you've got all these marksmen just laying in the damage and basically shooting themselves in the foot, and because the tanks now are just so much lethal if you're not correctly aiming or using the profile aiming on there. It's becoming an issue for a lot of people who just kind of those auto aimers.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to really have that hero lock in and being able to, like, you see a vengeance pops, you better be switching. You better be switching.
I gotta say something though real quick. Eugen just joined the lobby for the Valley. Some players are starting to come in, and Eugen just came in. So will the Valley have Eugen up and ready to go? I hope so. I really hope so. Because I think they're going to need all of their star players to go up against Insomniacs. They cannot come slacking here.
Definitely. I mean, it's again, baby, the playoffs.
The playoffs.
You got to bring it all out. And if you're not bringing it all out, why did you get here in the first place? That's what I'm going to say. And end it at that.
Yeah. Quick thing to the chat real fast. There was a little bit of smoke going on early on. Just remember, it's true. We're not gonna ban someone from chat or mute someone for expressing opinion that is different than others, as long as they are not disrespectful to any person in the chat. It is fine. If someone thinks a team is trash, they are fully free to opinionate that. If you've ever watched an M3 stream or an MPL stream, they're going at each other like savage in there. As long as there are no derogatory remarks or anything like that, people are free to express their opinions. Hell, people can talk bad about me. I get it all the time. You know times people in the chat are like, these casters are so dumb. They don't know what they're talking about. And I'm just like, yeah, I know. Yep.
Yeah, I know. How about you show yourself?
I've made some bad calls before. I've also made some great mother-loving calls. I've also called things to the T, but it just is what it is. Sometimes casters will have an opinion that doesn't go with everybody else, and sometimes we get proved wrong. Sometimes I think that a draft is really bad for a team, and they completely prove me wrong, and I'm the first to admit that, and that's fine. It actually makes me more excited when a team's able to turn something that I thought was a terrible pick into something extremely exciting.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you're gonna look at it that way, there's only one team is the winner in the end. It's going to be one, and everybody else is the loser. But it's not about the losing. It's about that experience that you're getting, especially those teams who duked it out and stayed throughout the entire season. Those teams that didn't really maybe start off too well or didn't get the wins that they wanted, still stuck it out with the league, coming back, trying to get that experience, trying to play with those, knowing that they were outmatched, and playing with those players who are better with them so that they can learn. And that's the only way that you're going to do it, not just quitting the league because you don't think you're good enough or sitting out there critiquing the entire time.
Shots fired. If you could take anything from a league or anything that comes into this professional play or anything of the sort, you got to get in there. Half the teams are willing to scrim. You don't get that from super pro players. You're not gonna be scrimming with Blacklist. You're not gonna be scrimming with Onyx, man. Put in the time and then you'll be able to get the dime, bro.
Put in the time and you get the dime. Wise words from Mako. I deleted the
Charlie wants that dime piece, man.
But you gotta put in the time, right? You gotta put in the time.
You gotta put in the time for the dime.
You can't come slacking, man. You can't come slapping.
Listen, you gotta if you need to throw on the gold chain, put on the ring.
Oh no. That's that G stuff. Where is your gold chain at, bro?
I got the ring on though. The chain's getting worked on,
That's the only reason we brought G on. We saw him and we thought, this is the guy. This is the guy.
He got to flex on everybody now. I'm currently getting my custom chain made, You'll see me in Icebox Snapchat one day. Just watch out.
Okay. I hear you. All right, so as we come down, we got 6 minutes to go until these teams are up and ready. Let's take a quick look at the, I don't know if I've showed it yet for anyone that has missed it. This is what the playoffs bracket looks like. TSU versus Deuce Knights first round, Insomniacs versus the Valley first round. Sitting in the second round, in the semifinals, is Team Sexy and Area 77 awaiting their opponents. They did, because they came in first and second, they got a bye to the second round. So we know that TSU will be going up against Area 77. It'll be the last game tonight. But tomorrow, we will see the winner of this game here up against Team Sexy. And then we will see the third place match. Then we will see the third place match. So the loser of A77 versus TSU and the loser of Team Sexy against whoever they go against. And then we'll see the finals as the last game tomorrow night. That'll be scheduled around 9 p.m. Or not tomorrow night, but Sunday night. My bad. This is happening Sunday night. Sorry. Sunday night. So yeah, also, new logo alert. Let us know what you guys think of it. We may still make some changes, but it is that NASL thing that you see there with the globe. I personally like it. Some people were iffy about it. Some people loved it. So let us know in the chat what you think about the new logo. Do you approve? And don't hurt my feelings, guys. Don't hurt my feelings.
Just shoot him right in the heart.
I didn't make it. I edited it. I fixed it. The guy who sent it to me, I was not crazy about it, but I didn't want to ask for any more revisions. So I was like, just give me the PSD. And I changed it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling it. Personally, I'm feeling it.
It's looking really golden.
Yeah, it's like a trophy.
If I gotta say anything about it,
gold.
It's gold.
It's gold.
It's a dime.
I like gold.
You could have put a chain around it, but it's all right.
I should have put a chain, you're right. Gave it a pinky ring. I should have gave it a little hand. That's what the trophy should have been. It should have been a hand with a pinky ring. Maybe we'll change it, man. Maybe we'll change it. Just like NASL, like like it is now, but instead
I'll be the model. I'll send you a pic of my hand, no biggie.
Here we go.
He's quiet.
The next, no, the hate is coming in. The next round will be starting in about 4 minutes, guys. It was scheduled for 9 o'clock, so the teams have until then. And then at 9 o'clock, if a team's not here, they get 10-minute grace periods. It does have NA as the displaying continent. Come on. It literally has North America as the displaying continent.
That is pretty dope.
That's what I did.
It is.
Somebody said the logo's globe should have NA as a displaying continent, and it does.
Somebody doesn't know what NA looks like.
It's got. There's Florida. That's where I live. There's Mexico.
You should infuse the American flag.
Oh yeah,
into the United States. Yeah, you know.
It's not. It's North America, so that includes Canada. So you'd have to put something in there with a.
Oh jeez.
Syrup, maple leaf.
Syrup.
Oh my, syrup, maple leaf.
Drop a moose in there.
The racism from these two. Just put A on it.
It's less racism and more ignorance because for some reason my brain could not compute what was on the Canadian flag.
It's a maple leaf. You dirtbag.
Oh, I got that now.
Where's A.E. Riles at? Get him in here.
Sometimes it be like that, man. Sometimes it be like that. But the coming game should be going on in about 3 minutes. If all of our players are standing by, you know, and I hope, you know, with being the playoffs again, everybody's bringing their A game.
I swear to God, if a team drops out of the playoffs, I would probably, I don't know. I quit.
I'm pausing my desk on live.
On live, punching my computer, breaking my camera.
I'm phased out now. I punched myself out of existence.
I punched myself out of existence. We are having some of the Valleys get into the lobby now. Insomniac's ready to go, and they're not wasting any time. All 5 members are already here. So they're prepped. They're ready. I feel like Insomniacs definitely feels good about this game. I think that the Insomniacs beat the Valley in season. So they already know that, you know, there's already a little bit of game there ready to go. So I think they feel comfortable about this game personally. I think now I haven't seen Insomniacs really play their fullest with the newest patch notes and everything, and they did lose against Deuce Knights. They got swept from Deuce Knights. So they got a little something to prove here if they want to be able to make it to go up against Team Sexy.
Yeah. The Team Sexy, I think we were looking over the stats earlier. Team Sexy has a lot of decent stats on their side. Second and third most assists on the side of Shark and Nicolette. And then what were we talking about? Most kills, second most kills for Zia. Just been amazing in that gold lane through this entire league. And it's really going to come down to, like, can Team Sexy, can they be beat? And do these teams have what it takes to kind of to put them on the back foot and kind of break through that what people are saying is like an unbeatable team?
It's definitely going to be hard, and that's something, you know, I guess we can talk about as we buy some time. Right now, there is some extra prize money for the player who gets the most assists at the end of the season, also most kills and most MVPs. Right now, Yato from Area 7, the mage from Area 77, sitting with 221 assists over the entire season. Close behind him with 218, Nicolette, also a mage from Team Sexy, and then one assist behind that, you have Shark with 217. For most kills right now, Area 77 also in the lead with Yeho scoring at 148 kills over the whole season. Not too close, but a little bit behind. Zia sitting with 134 kills. But as we get into most MVPs, we got Zia with 8 MVPs, the Valley Basic with 7 MVPs, and Nicolette with 6 MVPs. So if there's one thing that can be said, Team Sexy definitely has their name across these top picks. It's definitely it definitely just shows how much, not only in the games that they've been dominating, but just overall stats and statistics that they've been winning.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, we're looking at some solid key players on Team Sexy, though. I mean, they're kind of thick.
They're strong.
This is we've gotten some really great esports teams going on here in North America, showing that they're coming to compete, and I mean, I can't wait to see who takes the trophy, man.
Yeah, we are going to do ping checks for these teams. Like I said, this is the playoffs, so we're not going to mess around here. And we actually just got a new code for a new central lobby. So yeah, which is pretty cool. I just got a new code for it, and it may, I had some New York players playing on it the other day, and it was around the same MS, but it just felt smoother. You ever like play on 60 MS but it doesn't really feel like 60 MS? So sometimes you play on 60 MS and it feels like complete shit. Like they just said it felt a little bit better. So we are actually going to try out that, and if not, we'll revert back to the other central lobby. And just because I really want all of these teams to be playing at their best capabilities here. You know, we're in the playoffs. I'm not trying to push anyone for time here. So we're gonna run this ping check real fast and see exactly where it goes.
No, it's that's cool. We got a central server now, though. Because I want to say that's one of the biggest things that I always see, even in just ranked gameplay, is that just everyone's everywhere, and it's just so hard to group up when everybody is everywhere and your ping's everywhere. Because like the 20 MS difference, you would imagine how it just blows everything out of the water. And it could just be that one movement you needed to get out of a set, you know. So I definitely.
That engagement that's coming up on you, and then you red ping out. You're just like, well, I guess this is it, boys.
And that's one of the sad, you know, it's probably one of the saddest things about trying to do these events in North America is just the distance between everybody. Trying to host legitimate events, but the problem is always going to be lag until we can get everybody in the same building, or until there's enough people playing that we can just do like East Coast Cups, West Coast Cups, things like that, which is something I've been thinking about. You know, before the next season, we may do a minor just East Coast tournament and then a minor West Coast tournament, and it'll kind of be how we help choose teams for future leagues. So it's definitely a thought out there. But again, it's always going to be a trouble. It's always going to be an issue. And we're just going to have to keep trying to push through it, which a lot of these teams have been doing well.
Yeah. And I mean, they're excelling at it too, you know? I mean, they're still pulling through. We see still a lot of people just absolutely killing it in here. Even if their ping is just a little bit higher, they're still just able to make those key moves, and then their teammates just work off of them and pick them up.
They're really taking their time with these picks. Just like, a lot of thought going into these for this.
A lot of thought going into this ping check. Yeah, they love to do this. They love to buy as much time as possible. You know,
they like all going to the mid and taking a picture. You know,
yeah,
modeling.
It's literally it's what they do. I hate. And what sucks is when you're spectating, there's no way to end the game. I have to wait for one of them to surrender. So they just love testing my patience. You know, I had to make an announcement about it in the beginning of the season to tell the captains, like, y'all have 30 seconds. Like, that's all you need to figure out your MS. You have 30 seconds, or I'm gonna start fucking, I don't know.
Tossing my
Giving
phone.
you a write-up. You're getting detention.
Getting expelled. Yeah, we're gonna give a team a 30-second head start, bud.
Yeah, you get a handicap this game.
Nobody can leave the base.
You know what?
I'm gonna have Rex go into a full-on Will Smith out there.
Oh, Jesus.
Not again. Too early, Private. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Didn't you pull one of those jokes out the other day?
Oh,
no. Too early, man. Come on. Give it at least a week or two.
Iron's still hot.
I might use that in the cast tonight at some point. Oh, gee, Will Smith goes to Eugen. He is taken out, but Eugen takes it like a man, takes it like The Rock.
Oh
my team out of your mouth.
Keep my stop. Keep my team out of your mouth. Keep my
potato is falling out of his chair. My God.
That's crazy.
Definitely insane.
Whoa, Nick with the huge $89 dono. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. Much love from Nick. Much love, man. Thank you for the support.
Shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick. We need a song or something that we sing when this happens, but none of us sing, and I don't have a song.
And we get a Hoya.
Yeah. That's when we do the Wolf of Wall Street.
I love it. Let's do it. We just like pound our chest. Jesus.
All right, so this is not the server.
This is not the server.
This is not the server.
I seen a lot of 69s.
A whole lot of 89s, 69s. But see, I think they might still feel good. I don't know. See, because someone said bug MS. No, I mean... Alright, guys, come on. This is what I mean. This is what I mean, guys.
They're full on going at it right now, bro. Full 5-man stack mid. I think they're in a different stream.
First blood.
And we got a first blood coming from the side. So, quick question. So when we jump into the NACT coming up here, you know, what do you think is the new hero that we need? Is Melissa going to be a problem? you know, some of these newer heroes coming out, do you think they are going to be a huge issue? Are they going to be hitting that ban wall?
Is Xavier banned?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
Who's allowed?
When did Xavier come out?
He just came out. Like,
because if the tournament starts within 2 weeks, then no, he won't be allowed. And technically, the NACT starts on the 4th. So if he came out from the 21st to then, he will not be allowed. Did he come out this week?
Not this week.
It did not come out this week. It was definitely last week.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks. Might be tight. I don't know if probably not then. So then it's just going to be what Melissa and Yin are the ones that weren't allowed in this league that are going to be allowed for the NACT. Are those the only two?
Yeah. I mean, those are the only two that have Melissa, really came in recently.
And Yin and Melissa.
Yeah.
Yin and Melissa.
And Yin has had his place. I feel like a lot of the higher tier comps usually don't really have a huge problem with Yin, just because they can mix in that amount of mobility and CC in there that Yin has a lot of problems with. So I'm not sure how, because I still see him. I still see him get picked. He still can be dominant against certain players. It's just, I'm not sure how it's going to go into the higher tier that these guys are competing at. If Yin, because he does get countered by a lot of heroes, and especially mobility, and those technically proficient heroes. And then Melissa, I just really haven't seen a lot of her having a huge effect, I guess.
Yeah,
but they did make some changes to her recently.
They did just give her a slight buff because they felt she was a little lackluster. I still don't know. I mean, I think she could be decent against certain compositions just because of her ultimate. You know, if some, you know, she can, I think, be clutch. But I don't think she's gonna just be like broken like a lot of other new heroes, like Valentina was when she came out. You know, certain things like that.
I want to say that they're trying to make Melissa what Hanabi should have been. You know? Like, they needed that dash. Almost every hero nowadays at least needs some type of dash.
Some types of movement.
You're just not going to make it. And even in with the patch, they try to reduce the cooldown of Purify, but we're still... I mean, I still don't see it, like, overpicked. I mean, I see Flame Shot picked more than I see it picked.
Yeah, I've actually seen Purify kind of like it started. I've reduced. I even using it personally. I've started using Flicker or Flame Shot more than I do Purify, just because that cooldown so long, and just the being able to reposition, or likewise be able to like get that extra little foot in for an engage to surprise somebody. It's just seeming so much more useful now in the current meta.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, is that just it seems like it's coming off to be roughly a tank CC meta still, with a little bit aside of jungle. You know, you can't forget them because they're still strong. But we are seeing some marksmans play, but I feel like the marksmans are kind of falling off just because of them putting that crit inside of the blade armor. So that anti-crit in the blade armor is just a huge nerf for pretty much almost all marksmans. As you've seen with a Belric, with Vengeance and blade armor, you're shooting yourself in the foot with an arrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be there's definitely just a lot of changes overall, I think, and it's one thing a lot of people dislike about Mobile Legends. It's one thing I really like about Mobile Legends, that the meta just constantly changes. You know, every few months you have new heroes rising up, you have old heroes getting revamped, you have item changes, and they do a good job at consistently switching things up and keeping players on their toes, you know, keeping players needing to adapt quickly or else you will fall behind. And we're always seeing, you know, for the longest, we never thought Masha was going to be meta again. We never thought so many heroes would have a time to shine, and we've seen that happen recently, and it's just been a great experience to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving what they're doing. That's definitely me.
Right, this is the final ping check, and they will be starting right after this, so the game's going to be starting in just a second, guys. Few minutes. Thank you for waiting. If you haven't, make sure you share the stream. Share it to all the Discord. Share it to your mods. Share it to your paws. Share it to your little sisters, brothers, friends, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. It's important to get this event out, not only for, like, us as the casters or me as the person running this channel, but for the players and the teams. Like, the more that all of this grows, the more that there's more opportunity for teams to get sponsorships and for them to grow and tail. This is not just a one person benefits off of this type of thing here. It is truly going to help all of North America if we can start making these events more popular.
People have been talking about they're wanting MPL or wanting official Mobile Legends tournaments, but there's the groundwork that needs to be laid out first. Is for us to show that as a community we can group and create this type of atmosphere and the amount of people and energy that it takes to have a successful tournament or league. Before they can come in here with and see that MPL will be successful over here and will generate the type of I guess
views and money.
Yeah.
It always comes down to it, man. You can't even build a house without a foundation. So, and that's what us as content creators, as you know, that's our job. You know, if we want something to happen, we have to show them that we're willing to put in that hard, dedicated work to build that foundation, so then we can live easy in that house once it happens, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to us mainly. It's going to come down to most of us getting this together, because as we can see, you know, MPL's not coming this year, man, and we can't just rely solely on Moonton to help these events get larger. We have to do it. But enough talk about that, because these teams are ready to go. You guys don't want to hear us talk about all this garbage. Let's jump into game one of Insomniacs up against the Valley.
Let's get it. Priv8. Do you think they're going to key ban here? What do you think is going to happen here? You think they're going to start targeting people hard?
Well, I definitely know that Masha is going to be taken out here. There's no way. I don't think I've seen an answer yet for Masha here in the league yet. I think outside I've seen people try to use Grok and Valir to varying success, but like there's just still nothing solid that they can do against her except for hoping for another ninja nerf on her from Moonton.
Ninja nerf. Ninja nerf.
Ninja.
Greninja, the Greninja nerf.
Comes in and yeah.
We do see that Ling Band coming immediately, focused on Guapsi. For those that don't know, everyone is back to the original names. We know we had some name changes. I made it very clear to all the teams that they need to be back to their original names for the playoffs. So the guy with the Japanese lettering is going to be basic right now. Nostalgia is the I want to say is the sub for our value. Eugen will be on the field. That Chow, we're seeing some target bans already. Chow for Gala, and now we're seeing the Selena come in for Eugen. Two picks that neither team wants the other team to get currently, and this is what I like to see, G.
No, this is again, this comes down to the fundamental key of tournaments. You need to start targeting people. You need to do your research, lock them down. Valentina ban, it's always such a hard mage to go against, so it's always good to lock them down. There's the Masha, the two people you'll never want to see in the game, absolutely being banned. So I don't know, man. I want to see the battles. What's your take, Priv8?
Yeah, we've still got a lot of I want to say dangerous characters still out on the field for them. You still got the Grok, you still got Belleric, Esmeralda's still out there as well. I haven't really seen too much Uranus in NA, so I don't really think we need to worry about him, but Yuzong is still out there as well. So it's these bans, while they are key bans, we're leaving a lot out there, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they're able to formulate their comps around a lot of these open players or open characters. Wan as well too, but I don't think we've seen too many people pick her up lately.
At least not from these two teams. Wan hasn't been the most popular pick for either of them. But hey, immediately locks in this Grok. This Grok is definitely becoming a prio pick. I mean, even before the Esmeralda right now, considered a better pick, which she has been probably the most common S1 spot 1 pick for since the beginning of season 1. She has been almost probably 70 to 80% spot 1 pick rate for her, and there's a reason for it. But look at Grok just sneaking in now. I'm wondering, is it going to be the difference maker? Is he going to start being a pivotal pick for these teams?
I feel like he is. Grok, especially Priv8 was saying, assassin Grok. He just does so much damage, man. He just comes in and gives you a slapping, and you're just like, huh? And then he throws up a wall, and then you're like, well, now I'm here.
That Fanny. Oh, Petrify Fanny.
Not only that, but look at Guapsi on the on the Retri Basha right now.
Nani?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I want to see where this goes. But yeah, look, Grok has been. He's just been so strong right now. I think, especially they did try to take away his magic defense that he does get from his passive. But I mean, there's items to cover that hole. With all the rest of the damage that he can do, the scaling he does on his defense from physical attack items, and then the fact that he doesn't just pop players up, he stuns them if he connects with a wall, which has just been such a utility for teams in these team fights.
Yeah. The Yuzong pick was very heavily coveted in the beginning of the season. It was considered it was a popular ban. It was a popular prio pick for a lot of teams. I was always kind of iffy about it, and it seems that it's not as popularly banned as recently. Do you really think it's that scary of a pick? Do you really think it's that great of a pick? Is it something that teams should have to worry about here, G?
I feel like he should be more of a counter, he's always devastating, tons of healing, but he's great at securing that backline pick, just being able to get in there, initiate the engage, almost like Esmeralda. So sometimes it's key, but they picked it right out of the box, so my guess is they're trying to rely on the mage in the jungle right now instead of the XP lane.
Yeah, it ended up happening because of the Yves, because of the Farjas, because of the Sicilians. You needed to have an answer for that, and that's where Yuzong used to shine. Unfortunately, he kind of went the way of Jawhead. I don't think Jawhead has changed. He really hasn't received any nerfs, but he kind of fell out of that support meta because teams learned how to play against it. And I think that's what happens with Yuzong now in the current meta, is people see that dragon form coming. They know that Petrify is going to be coming. They know to be able to kind of spread out or to get that anti-heal and to be able to burst him down. So it's actually become more of a nuisance for him to actually go in because he can get bursted down so quickly. So it just like I said, it just becomes on how the battlefield adjusts, not just on how the character is themselves or the nerfs they've taken.
Your team is banning.
Yeah, he just doesn't, he doesn't impact the meta as much as he did early on. And it happens to a lot of heroes, kind of like you said with Jawhead, heroes don't always need nerfs to become non-meta. It's when the rest of the meta changes around them and they don't become the counter that they used to be. They don't become that perfect pick to deal with who's really strong right now, because those heroes aren't as strong anymore. So, like you said, Yuzong hasn't had any big changes to him. I think he became really popular during the double marksman that we were seeing a lot, right after M4. Same reason why Lolita became so popular, same thing with the Yves, able to deal with some of those backline mages. And just like Priv8 just said, a lot of teams are starting to pick those a bit less, at least here in this season, or at least the Yves and some of these picks are getting banned out, and he's just not as useful, I feel like, without those picks for him to deal with.
Man, look at the bans on the mages. Holy! Is there even a mage left?
I mean, there's a Nana out there, maybe.
It's gonna be a tough game for Ashley.
Holy!
She could go with the Lou. Go with the Lou here.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Zosk?
Zosk?
Nudge, nudge.
Maybe.
You know, no, you're the Zosk guy, just nudging it in there, you know?
But I mean, you're right. Farza, Kagura, Lilia, most of the, you know, those top three, Sicilian's gone, all the top 3 and 4. But not only, they banned their own Sicilian there. So, I mean, they have to at least have an idea of what they're going to go for with Ashley. My guess is we may see the lure, we may see something that, you know, the Valier.
Don't tease me.
The Valier would not be horrible here against the Boschia, against that heavy engage. Also, the Eudora could come in extreme clutch against this Fanny pick. We've seen it work in the past. You know, Ashley's only job right now, destroy Fanny. That is it. Lock down Fanny, one-shotter, take her off the map. Even if you have to die for it, it is definitely a great trade.
My only qualm with Eudora sometimes can be is when that's your only job, like you don't have that DPS and that team fight potential coming from her. So she's kind of wasted once once you hit that mid to late game and Fanny's no longer an issue. Eudora is basically going to be kind of hoping that that people are just going to be face checking these bushes, because in team fights she's gonna go down like paper. So it's going to come down to like how well these compositions that they have can stay powerful in the early game and then kind of still keep on that flame without simmering too much into the late game.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing that I was thinking here is Lao Yi. Like, where's that at? Why didn't they pick that? I mean, that would have been solid maneuverability and just monster. They got such a frontal team besides Fanny. Like,
it definitely would have been a good answer to the Kufra and the Basha, I think. You know, every time they come in, lock them up. But I really think the Eudora pick was strictly for that Fanny.
Well, that's it exactly. If you picked the Lao Yi, you didn't really have, you would have an answer for Kufra, but would you have made it to that far with a Fanny because you're not going to be doing anything on the Lao Yi against the Fanny, especially if the Fanny's like great, which I'm 90% sure Uzi's not slacking on this Fanny.
No, and it does end up being the Petrify Fanny. I gotta give it to I gotta kind of give a little bit of an early game. We saw how aggressive that jungle Basha can be after watching TSU with it, so I gotta kind of give the early game over to the side of the valley here, especially since you have Pogi on this carry jungle who's a little bit slower. It's gonna take a little bit more time. But I think if Insomniacs can make it to the end game, they have a lot of answers for the Valley right now. They just need to kind of not let the gold gap get too big, buy some time, and I think they have a nice amount of damage output and even space to gain with their composition right now, G.
Yeah, and we'll just see how it comes out, it's all going to come down to the key players and how they play, especially with the Adora. Just being able to, she's going to have to push camp, going to have to be able to execute on those key plays, and just get the Fanny, and just like that. I mean, that was a solid hit. Going to send the Fanny back home 100%. And I mean, that's the early game you don't want to lose.
Yeah, and Boxy, Guap's already pretty much cleared out all of Poggy's jungle here at the bottom, so gonna have to rotate top, and definitely not gonna have 4 by the time this turtle comes out.
Yeah, I mean, just completely clearing out the bottom, and I like the fact that Basic comes over with this Kufra, ready to, knowing that they might try to come, but wait, a nice Petrify and knockup. Carry gets the kill, taking him out. Guapsy trying to come in, but he is alone against, remember, Nostalgia, keeping a distance. Yuzi trying to do something, but still there's not enough. Guapsy able to muscle his way in and push them out of their own jungle. This jungle Basha is definitely something for us to keep our eyes on. Eugen on the run down here. Hey, with a flicker, able to get the kill. Will Hate get away here? He does get taken out, but still a nice play from the side of Insomniacs there, G.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is it's becoming a slight slaughter fest here, but as we're seeing the Boxia is just being able to roll around and be so fast, it's almost like a baby Link.
Yeah. It's a tanky ling. I mean, a fat ling, a big ling.
Fat ling.
They are coming in. Hate taking some damage. Gonna get shredded down from Nostalgia. A nice pick. Gala now trying to create some space. Does get the passive proc in, but doesn't want to force that fight. It's too many 4v1. Forced to back off Priv8.
Yeah, that early game Guap is not something you want to be facing as a Grok, especially with Nostalgia there. Just so much magic damage, which is what Grok's biggest hole in his character right now in the early game is the magic damage, and Hate is feeling like the full wrath of it right now. Already taken two deaths right now for the side of Insomniacs.
Yeah, he has taken some damage, you know, but right now, I mean, they're still not doing a horrible job. Insomniacs is falling behind a little bit, but like I said, I really think the goal right now for them is, you know, try to keep this gold gap within 1 to 2,000 and just buy time. Try not to lose too many towers and just play it out safe. We are seeing engage Hate with that ultimate, able to knock up Guapsi, stop them a little bit. They are pushing in hard onto this gold lane. Nostalgia doing a little bit of chip damage onto Hate. Gonna send Craxy and Hate back to base here, G.
Yeah, and I mean, the Valley is doing really good at securing the gold and kind of just monetizing the small areas, you know, and just being able to grab it and take control. A couple of the picks, I mean, we're seeing that the kills just aren't like, they're neck and neck, but it just comes down to fundamentals of just stealing jungles, rotations, and just overall taking that gold later on the first shot of the towers here. I personally think this Adora is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be big for positioning for Insomniacs, especially in this early game. Positioning is going to be key, making sure Ashley doesn't get picked off up here. Up in the top lane, Gala taking some damage, forced to Dragon out. He is going to get picked off by Guapsi. Nice play, and he quickly rotates down onto this turtle. Nice movements from the Valley, and this is what I mean. Insomniacs need to be careful in the early game here from the pressure we're going to see from the Valley.
Look at him eradicate that turtle.
Yeah, his clear is so fast. it's absolutely amazing. Even in the early game, able to take out the red buff of Insomniacs while Litho Wanderer still had 4 seconds before it spawned. It's just amazing how fast Boxia can go ahead and gold up here.
Yeah, not only that, but just him being able to, the movement, I think, is what really helps him assert so much pressure getting around. And he can just, and you already know when you have a tank jungle, you want to play into the enemy jungle. You know you can take some of the damage and assert pressure. It was done so popularly with Hylos from Blacklist, but now Basha kind of taking that limelight with that ultimate. He's able to clear up enemy jungle and able to put out just passive damage to everybody. So we're just seeing how well it works, and Insomniacs seems to be having a bit of trouble, but still, Pogi sitting at 1-0, and that could be their saving grace for the end game, G.
Yeah, and the 1-0, still, it's going to be tough. I mean, we're seeing quite the gold difference almost right here on Insomniacs. I mean, they're going to have a tough time. The Boxy is just coming in, and he's doing so much damage.
So much. Oh man, Gala on the run. I mean, that's scary, man. This Basha is definitely scary.
Never. Look, everybody's running. He's just a menace.
And Pogi gets picked off on the bush.
Yeah, it's so tanky, and right now, like, this game is not going to be won for Insomniacs in the early or mid game. It's going to be won in the late game. It's just, can they make it to that late game right now?
Yeah, I don't know if they can. They're losing towers already. We're at 6 minutes, and like G just said, the gold gap isn't too big. You know, it's sitting at 2K right now. They are keeping up slightly, so I think, like, I wouldn't say the game's over just yet. We haven't had, Craxy hasn't taken a death yet. Pogi's only taken his first death, so there still is some damage to come. Are we going to see a play? Nice shotgun coming in onto Eugen. He does get locked up, does get rooted to the ground, forced to back off. Hate and Basic both trying to get an engage onto Pogi. Basic may get taken down, able to escape with just a pinch of health as Wapsi pushes the advance. The rest of the team backing off, but this is what I mean, some damage is starting to come from Insomniacs. They just need a little bit more time here, G.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see that they're actually holding off. They're playing passive again, it's the playoffs, man. And but I think Guapsi's made it so far into this jungle, he's just starting to feed Fanny instead. which is great plays because he's just going into the other jungle and stealing it. Oh, bro.
Oh, Ashley is not going to get out of this one. Will get taken out here. But, well, that's happening. Gala at least gets a pick onto Yuzi in the top lane, and he's going to secure a tower. So now we're looking at Insomniacs with 2 towers down. Like, this may not be a losing position for them just yet.
Yeah, they're taking those little skirmishes. They're losing those little skirmishes, but very wisely. Yeah.
Skirmishes. I hate you both so much.
Skirmishes. I love it.
they are macroing up, and they are taking those towers while they are losing those little battles.
I don't know which I dislike more, skirmishes or you calling Sharky all the time. I don't know which one I dislike more. Hate coming in, get some nice poke damage, a nice knockup on a Nostalgia, but the rest of the team decides not to engage. There goes that knife shot. Almost takes the kill on a Nostalgia. She's going to be forced to run away here. Insomniac's taking some ground. Gala on the hunt right now. The light does come in. He's not able to close in. Nostalgia gets away, but a huge Tyrant's Rage coming from Basic, and Yuzi with the Petrify able to make the play. Craxy though in the back line responding herself and getting the double kill. It's a 2-for-2 trade. What an amazing play from Craxy, capitalizing on that moment to clear out, to even up the playing field.
Yeah, and I was kind of getting at the point that I was thinking maybe the Valley was going for more kills and not effective base, because we've seen Insomniacs come in with some key pushes. But what? No way! 1 HP'd on Basic. Just barely making it out of there. Dude, those are some of the plays that you need to capitalize on in the playoffs.
Yeah, and this is going to be the problem with that double tank composition. Carry was a nice answer, and even though she's died once, they have been able to buy space for her. She has been able to keep up the jungle. She's actually ahead of Basha right now. So I mean, Pokey's been doing a good job at keeping the gold lead, making sure the gold diff doesn't get too big. And now she's getting to the point, she's got that Wind Talker in, she's got the Endless Battle in. She's gonna start doing some big damage to these tankier frontline heroes on the side of the Valley here, Private.
He's already doing damage to Boxia and almost took down Kufra on both of them, and she doesn't even have Golden Staff, which is what she's working on right now. The moment she starts getting Golden Staff, if they can keep up this pressure, keep up not trying to give up too many deaths, she's
a nice knock-up on to Glopsy, using a Yuzi, haven't taken off the map. A nice first skill coming from Basic. But look at Pogi positioning himself, able to get the kill on to Glopsy. Basic will fall next. Eudora able to pick that kill for herself. Nostalgia all alone as Insomniacs move on to this Lord and keep up their push. The time has been bought. We're 10 minutes in. Insomniacs are starting to take the lead here.
I was thinking maybe the Eudora wasn't the play. But we're seeing some, and I mean, this is always what it is. It comes down to the overall players that are playing the heroes. And what we're seeing here is that they're playing passive, and then they're doing, oh my god.
A nice pick. Ashley comes with the ultimate. Mega kill coming from Craxy, making a double. Look at that sniper. Beautiful play coming from Craxy. Craxy, the man, the myth. He's on fire right now on this Beatrix. 5-0-2. He's going to work his way onto this tower. And then also Hate with some amazing Grok plays right now. I mean, putting this game into the hands of Insomniacs overall.
Wow.
Wow. Lord's still coming too. I mean, Lord is barreling down the top lane right now. This
is looking bad for the Valley. They were doing so well, but then they fell off at that mid game.
Oh my god, Guapsi shredded out. I'm sorry for interrupting, but they are pushing hard. Guapsi melted out from Pogi. This man is just shredding apart. Yuzi can do barely nothing right now on this Fanny. Just can't set up the engage. No petrified plays for you as the Lord barrels down against this top inhibitor. Yuzi trying to defend. A nice Tyrant's Rage, but will it be enough? Yuzi able to get the kill onto Ashley, but still, they are fiddling away. Fiddling away at these inhibitors. The top one is down. The rest of the team coming to the mid. Yuzi may try to make a play here. They're able to defend and not lose that middle inhibitor. But Ashley, for the price of that top inhibitor, a good trade in my book, Private.
Yeah, just some amazing plays on the side of Insomniacs right now. First with that Grok engage to stun up 2 members of the Valley. And then while Nostalgia was trying to escape that chef's kiss snipe from Craxy to finish them off, and then they just pushed on from there. And now you can see Poggy with that attack speed right now is just going to be such a menace as long as the front line can hold up, as long as Poggy can keep that distance away from that Kufra, away from the engagements of the rest of the Valley. I think this might be going all the way for Insomniacs here.
Yeah, I just don't think they have an answer to the damage of poking on that. But Craxy also, they are able to take out Gala, so a bit of a misplay from him. But look, I mean, the DHS has been locked in for Craxy, so he's just also going to start shredding down on these tanks. And that nice aggressive front line that they had in the first 5-6 minutes is just looking like paper right now, G.
It is, and I mean, I want to say the biggest thing that the Valley is like lacking on right now is that Eugen is 0-4-5. Like their carry is not carrying. He's not able to excel, and Beatrix is just absolutely carrying. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Your take, Private?
Yeah, they've shut down essentially Eugen, which was supposed to be the answer into the mid to late game. This early game being with Wapsi and the Kufra and that early engage, and then Fanny's falling off now too as well. It's going to be up to Nostalgia for their team, because Nostalgia's the only one really with a good positive. I want to say gold. Yeah.
Yeah, but this might be it. Guapsi knocked up. Agador gets a kill. Gallet smells blood in the water. He's going to come in. Is able to get the knockup. Not quite able to, but does secure the kill on to Eugen with that passive. The rest of the Valley forced to back off as Insomniacs take the second Lord of this game. I don't know if the Valley has an answer for this right now. They need, they need a big set from that Kufra. They need some sort of moment. But the problem is there's just too much space with Hate and Gala that's being created. They just can't get to the back line to make that play right now.
Yeah, there's been 2 or 3 times that Basic has gone for the initiation and missed Poggy by like a hair, which allowed Poggy to get that distance, to use that dash, to keep on just raining down shots onto the rest of the Valley. And that's gonna be what it takes here. Is they're gonna need to be patient, need to set up properly, and make sure that he's within range so that they can actually stun him and get that gank onto him.
This is, I mean, it's gonna come down to this giant Lord play right here. If the Valley can hold it, take it over, T-Rex.
I don't know if they can. The minions are crashing in. Every inhibitor is down. Wapsi circling around the back, trying to get a play on a Craxy. Forced to go back to his base because he just can't make it. Gala, though, with the Petrify and the knockup onto 2 members as Eudora cleans up Eugen. Wapsi goes down next. This is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Insomniacs focusing in onto the base, and they will take game 1.
Wow.
What a game.
Yeah, that late game by the side of Insomniacs, not losing hope. They did take, while their jungle essentially belonged to the Valley in that early game. They couldn't, Carrie could not farm, could not get any of her buffs, could not do anything in that jungle for the early game of that, but they were still able to maintain their cool. Every single pick that the Valley was able to get, all those team fights that were won, they actually got punished for it with towers on the side of Insomniac for able to split push from the top. We saw from Yuzong, or at the bottom we saw that Craxy was able to get a decent amount of pickoffs after the team fight had essentially ended. So and then at the end they were able to hold long enough for Poggy to get those items to start crushing down onto Guaps. I mean, Guaps lasted like a second as soon as Pog activated the ult and just started raining down fire on him.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't and it just goes to show Poggy's Poggy, Poogie, whatever you want to call him, his ability to keep up, you know, the fact that he never, like, even with, like you said, in the very beginning, Guapsi takes the whole red jungle from him, and they don't give any jungle of their own back to Poggy, but he was still able, even after he died once, still able to keep the gold gap to a minimum and end up on top. So, I mean, and I mentioned in the very beginning, as long as they never fell below a 2,000, as long as Insomniacs didn't let that gold gap get more than like 2,000 or 3,000, the game still felt like it was in their hands, and that's what they did. There was one moment where the Valley got a little bit ahead. They were at like maybe 2,500, and then, but it just was too late by then. Insomniacs finally able to make a big play and just immediately turn that gap into nothing and took the lead themselves. So from the start, I feel like they kind of had the game in their hand.
And I want to say, I mean, the Beatrix, that build, going with the Demon Hunter, and the Golden Staff.
Full damage.
Like, oh, dude, there was not one tank that was going to survive.
I mean, 28% hero damage. Not only that, but taking towers. Craxy definitely a well-deserved MVP there, just shredding through. So they brought the answer to that double tank composition that the Valley tried to do. Let's get back to our caster desk. So do we think the Valley brings a slightly different strategy this time? They will have first pick. Are we going to see another sweep? Are we just going to see sweeps in the playoffs?
We're seeing some big teams play right now. So, I mean, a lot of them have come to play, have probably done their research. I was actually voting for the Valley. So, I'm kind of blown away that just went down like that. They were doing so well in the early, but then just like a flick of a switch, and then Insomniacs just came back with full force. I don't know what happened, but they, like I said, a flick of the switch, and it was GG.
I think one of the key points that happened during that match that didn't happen in the series before between Deuce Knights and TSU is that Easy Peasy would see his buff being taken, his jungle being invaded, and want to contest it. He did not want to give up those buffs. Where on this side, we saw Craxy Poggy, sorry, excuse me. We could see them in his jungle, and he's like, "All right, move on. We're moving on. We're gonna get this other minion, and we're not gonna contest this." They didn't really want to get into those engagements because they knew there was no way they were gonna win that fight, and that comes down to knowing your comp and knowing your win conditions. So and then just sticking to it. He didn't want to get into those early fights. He knew that the Valley had the early game, so he just needed to make sure that he didn't get caught and golded up for his eventual power spike.
Yeah, I mean, they were. So at this point, does the Valley bring a nice answer? They are getting rid of that Beatrix, and the Grok is coming from Insomniacs this time. You know, Insomniacs picked, that was their first pick. They knew how prio was, and they know how important it is that they're not going to give it to the Valley either. The question is since the Valley, the Valley didn't ban that last game, and they were second pick. So maybe they don't think it's that broken, or they just haven't really adapted to the most recent patches. And they underestimated it. And I mean, there definitely needs to be something of a change here if they want to take on the Valley for game 2.
Yeah, everybody's everywhere. You just don't know what's gonna go down. I definitely don't believe Fanny side lane is something you want to run. Just in the current what's going on, there's too much uncertainty when you're getting into games like this. But they are targeting a lot of the key heroes. We're probably going to see a Yu Zhong possibly taken by the Valley. It seems like they're banning out. We got the Grok XP lane out, Esmeralda out. We'll see. We'll see. This is interesting. I don't know what to think about it.
I mean, it's going to come down to the picks here.
Yeah, the Yu Zhong, I didn't really feel like had a huge effect in that. For Yves, of course, that it's just such a powerful ward from on the battlefield, just to be able to set up to keep people together, the enemy team, and be able to punish them while they're inside that real world manipulation. It looks like they are dancing around the idea of picking up this Fanny. Oh, they did.
me.
Oh, so I mean,
It looks. Oh, Kratzy picking up the Fanny this time.
yeah.
So the side of Insomniac's picking it up. Maybe saying, hey, we're going to show you how to actually do this. My question is it going to be the, last time we saw Yuzi in the side lane with the Fanny, is this going to be a mid lane tank Fanny like what we've been seeing from Shark in the past? Is it going to be something along that sense instead of what we just saw Yuzi try to do here, Eiko?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna still refer back to my last statement. You don't want Fanny in the side lane. It's probably gonna be in the mid lane to control the mage, if not even be jungle. But it's still a rough area to be, and especially with the side of the valley securing Lance and Kufra. We're looking. I mean, the side of valley is looking nice right now.
It is, yeah, and Guapsi also gets that Lancelot there. Sorry for interrupting you, Private.
No, it's fine. It's just the Kufa definitely going to be an issue for Fanny, especially if that Fanny is not going to be a jungler, because it's already going to take her a little longer to kind of farm up for it. But we do have the Yuzong secured on the side of Insomniacs to kind of have that answer for Eve when that ult comes out. We also have Ruby for a decent amount of CC, especially for when Kufra. It's good counter picks here on the side of Insomniacs as an answer to the Valley. The picks are right now. I feel like the meta is in a place where I'm just like, it's hard. It's hard to like understand before it happens on the battlefield, especially with this Fanny out there too, because before I started casting for this league, I did not know Fanny could go as a rogue, as a side lane that could be strong or something like anything other than a jungler. And we've just seen such versatility out of these teams, and especially now that we're in the playoffs, we're going to see a lot more different picks. Maybe something that they've been holding on to for this entire league that they're going to be pulling out now.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Ruby pick. I think I think showing that Fanny pick this early a little off, because you are gonna get hard countered from that Kufra. But still, I don't. That's not her target. Eiko kind of mentioned earlier. If you put her in that mid lane, target Nostalgia in the early game, put pressure even on Guapsi in the early game. But I think one thing I can say from Insomniacs is they've been doing well overall on the board. Like last game, I think they counter-picked very, very well. Having Pogi pick up that carry, having that late game potential to deal with the heroes of the Valley. And this time, I think the Ruby, a good pick against Lancelot. Yes, he can phase out, but it's still something he has to worry about every time he engages, because if he gets locked up from that Fanny second skill, it is going to be a tough route for him, especially with whatever damage dealers Insomniacs decide to put in their back line here.
Yeah, and I want to shout something out real fast. Ruby doesn't have a battle spell. I don't know if that's an error or
that is weird.
What's going on there, but Ruby, I mean, at least on our side, I don't see a battle spell happening right there. So I don't know if we're having some type of error, but I mean, it's gonna be thick. I mean, the Yuzong was the counter, like Private was saying, to Eve, like it's if he can just ult and just stop the Eve, then you're good. You're good.
Your
Easy.
team is picking for some fun.
I'm gonna ask actually real quick and ask my mods if you guys want to just continue in the draft.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we have look like Lilia. They are going and continuing the second half of the bans, pretty much primarily focusing on the mages here. And we do see a Farja get picked up, interestingly enough, because that does outrange the Yve. It just depends on how well that the Valley can go ahead and engage. Ashley has been I have been able to catch a couple of her matches on Farja, and she is great at her positioning, making sure that she's out of range, or making sure that she doesn't even start with her feathered airstrike until the battle has already engaged and the team is busy in there. So it's going to be pretty interesting, and it looks like we are getting another long range mage picked up on the side of the Valley.
Your team is
That is weird. Because I mean,
well, it may end up becoming a gold laner. That may be a gold lane Sicilian here. Not too off the wall, honestly. I don't think they're going to put Nostalgia in the gold lane. We might see a switch here. But yeah, definitely different composition. Pogi hovering over this Fermis right now. But
well, he wanted that for the counter for glue, but because wisely the Valley picked up glue and Sicilian, because Sicilian does do a good job of collecting up glue when he ults and punishing him for that. So I guess we're gonna see. Yeah, Aulus is actually pretty good there too. With the amount of damage you can put on there. But they do go ahead and go with YSS here.
I think that's a bit more of a comfortable. I think the Aulus pick would have been good. Would have been really tough for Guapsi to engage onto Aulus. I think it might have even been a better pick than YSS, honestly. I think the fighters do well against assassins in the early game. They're not, especially as jungles, they're not able to get picked off like some of the marksmen are. But I think this YSS is definitely a comfortable pick for Pogi overall, and they don't want to get too crazy. They want to try to seal the deal right here, right now.
I could understand it, and I mean it's going to be interesting because I mean the Sicilian could stop the Farza from being able to interrupt the Eve, and then. I don't know. I mean, the Kufra could stop the Yuzong from possibly taking out the Eve as well. So let's see what they're trying to do with their counters. Who knows? Ruby does have a Batman emblem now. I don't know what was going on that screen.
Yeah, definitely was a little weird.
That was leaving me on the edge of the seat, you know?
Are we going to have a reset? No.
Right? What's your take on this, Private?
Honestly, like I was just going over that in my head right now. I'm not too comfortable with the Sicilian plus the Yi pick here because you're pretty heavy on the magic side, and you're kind of like isolating what type of damage that you can do and what the enemy can prepare for. But then on the other side here, this Fanny, it's going to come down to how well this Fanny plays into it too, and how well that we can protect our back line. Is there an answer when Yuzong comes into Yi? Is there an answer when they go ahead and try to dive onto this Farja? And how well can they adjust when that happens? And that's going to be the real key, the key to winning.
One thing I can say though is I think I'm seeing some nice comfy picks from the side of Insomniacs. Not only the YSS but Ashley on this Farza. You know, Farza definitely not the meta that she used to be. Hasn't been a prio pick for a lot of mages. You know, she's probably like number 3 or 4 on the list. But Ashley just does so well on this Farza in the early game. Her maneuverability with it, her rotation with it, just definitely a league above many others. So I think she should be able to handle her position overall using this Farza and not getting picked off too much, at least in the early game.
And I mean, we're seeing, I mean, a mage in the side lane as gold is not uncommon. Both mages do have mystery shops, so they're both going for maximum potential of items. But we see the Eve getting taken out by the Farza right in the middle there. What an insane play just 2 minutes in. Losing your mid-mage is going to be really bad.
Airstrike does come down. Hate is getting chased from Yuzi as Gala takes the pressure. Guapsi able to take the turtle, but may pay for it with his life, able to escape with a sliver of health. But Insomniac still taking the gold lead overall because of that kill. And not only that, but Pogi's able to strip down this gold plating off the mid tower. All of it for the price of that turtle, which is still a good trade overall.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with that kill onto Nostalgia right before the turtle came up, they did have to answer from the Valley and kind of got split up there as soon as the turtle was up and lost the turtle there. Or wait, did they get... No, Valley got the turtle,
yeah.
Yeah, Valley got the turtle. So they lost the turtle for that because they got kind of split up there as soon as it came up, even though they were the Valley was a player down. Which is kind of showing good composure here in the early game for their side.
Most definitely.
Good composure indeed.
Arvel taking some damage here. I don't know. Now I'm starting to think that Basic is not playing this game, and Arvel is actually the Kufa right now. That was my bad, a missed call. So the Chinese lettering is actually Arvel, the tank for the side of the valley. Basic was not able to make the game, which it could be the downfall of the valley here. Basic, you know, in a sense, kind of like the team captain of this team overall. Definitely someone who has a presence. I mean, definitely, I mean, even though he's been playing off lane, I still think not having him around is definitely showing right now in some of these games.
Yeah, I mean, I did feel like there was something off with the Valley, just because of how they played that last game. I mean, they were doing really good in the early game, but like I was seeing, they just weren't really objective based. Like they were fighting over just random stuff in the jungle. They were fighting over the pond. You didn't even know what was going on. So it's just we're seeing. Hopefully that's a comeback. Poggy has been insane at objectives.
Yeah, Will manipulate just come up. Poggy might get caught up by that Tyrant's Rage, able to dash away with his life. And those are the moments that are going to be clutch here. Missing that kill for the Valley is huge right there. As Insomniacs keep their lead, Arvel takes some damage. A nice I'm offended from Hate onto Ashley. Doesn't have that wings of wings to close the distance and get that kill. Both teams, you know, playing these games by a sliver of health at a time.
Yeah, and even with that last engagement you saw, Arvel narrowly missed closing down onto Poggy, which allowed Poggy to go ahead and dash away. Even with Yi trying to close up with that real world manipulation, but we have a fight here in the middle.
Yeah, Gala is engaging a nice petrify onto Guapsi, misses the knockup, but still just too much damage. He's forced to use the ultimate just to get away. I don't know if Guapsi's going to be able to get out of this one. Yuzi will bite the bullet, and Poggy trying to close the distance. Guapsi will go down. A nice Tyrant's Rage onto Gala. Gala will take the final tower shot and pay the price, but it's a 1-for-2 trade on the board, along with a little bit of chip damage onto that EXP lane tower private.
Yeah, just a great setup by them too. They came down there, even with the Valley coming in there to try to go for the save. You still had Ashley in there holding out her Feather Edge Strike. Didn't actually run it immediately. Waited for the enemy team to get in range of it, and then started raining down on them to help her team disengage. It's just like you said, comfort picks, and they're kind of showing it right now. Just how comfortable they are on here. It might not be the most. It might not be the answer to the Valley's comp, but they're playing it so well that it might not even matter.
Most definitely.
And I mean, I think Glue is a decent pick here, but could be a little tough. I mean, we're gonna see Fanny securing that kill on the sister lane is huge.
Oh, Guapsi trying to get the play. Hate forced to flicker away. Craxy a little low, able to use those cables to get away. And this is where that Fanny in the top lane is going to be helpful. Just able to escape from the gangs. Feathered Airstrike coming down onto Arvel. Hate locking him in. Poggy now close the distance onto Guapsi. Gala with the Petrify. Guapsi will pay the price. A nice pick from Insomniacs coming up. And it is now 6-1. A 4,000 gold lead. Bogey, once again, the man on fire. 2-0-3. Not only that, but the whole team just on fire right now, G.
Man, we're seeing quite the gold difference right now. Insomniacs is just absolutely killing it in the jungle, the turtle. They're in kills. I think the Valley is having a really tough time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah, we're coming on the turtle here, but unfortunately, it looks like the setups are just kind of lacking here on the side of the Valley. They're not able to get those great setups by Hooper, which will lead into the real world manipulation. We do have one here, but Ashley able to clean him up
Arvel is completely shut down, trying to get the engage, fighting off a bit more. Craxy in the back, doing some nice damage. Guapsi may go down here. Nice, I'm offended. Does lock him up just enough, and Ashley will get that kill. Pokey finally going down, but still just not enough. The Valley always losing out in these team fights. I mean, it's definitely a tough game. They do have some late game potential with the Sicilian, with Glue. You know, even Nostalgia on this eve. There is some possibilities for some nice sets and some nice plays, but like Priv8 said, they just need to tighten up a little bit on these engages and on these team fights.
And the biggest thing that I'm seeing from the Valley side is they don't have enough CC. They have a little bit of slow, but they just don't have enough CC to lock down a lot of these heavy hitters on the team. You got Ruby, you got Yuzong, you got Fanny. If your whole team is not building anti-heal,
Guapsi getting melted down right now. I mean,
ooh.
Able to get away, but it's like you said, I don't know, G. It's tough here.
It is. Can we get a look at their items? Like, are they even building any counters? Like, I mean,
so Glue is picking up the dominance ice. Cecilion now also working on the dominance ice. So I mean, yes, they do have a little bit of counter, but you know, it's going to be a lot of, they're really just being outplayed. And Priv8 mentioned it earlier, Ashley is, you know, and I say it all the time, her positioning with this Farza is just so fearsome. Her timing with those ultimates, knowing when to use them, when not to use them. A bit of a play though. Hate is going to go down. Guapsi finally get a nice pick. Arvel with the time of rage on to Gala. Not quite able to get enough damage out though. Here comes the real world manipulation. Able to take out Gala though. So finally a nice counterplay. But in comes Craxy deleting Nostalgia. So I mean, every time the Valley comes with an answer with a play, someone else helps to even out this playing field. Craxy maybe a little too over engaged there. The Valley is going to be able to take this tower here. Is this a possible answer? They still have a 4K deficit, but are we possibly seeing the Valley make a slight comeback here, Priv8?
It's going to depend on if they can keep up with this tight engagement. What's been happening before is that the Insomniacs have been very well spread out when they come in. They're not in the ball. They're not in a way that Kufra can catch more than one or two of them. Because he catches one, you'll see that Nostalgia will come in with that real-world manipulation, but only caught two of them into it. Like, look at this right here. Only able to catch one of them in that real-world manipulation, essentially wasting an ult while the rest of the team of Insomniacs is coming in.
Yeah, Nostalgia now will go down. Gala with that beautiful Petrify onto two members, completely deleting them. Double kill coming from Pogi. I mean, and you know what's been the clutch that look at Pogi way under the tower, taking tower shots. He's not scared. He wants that kill.
Oh my
God. He will go down,
Free.
but it's a full team wipe. And again, I think it's worth it. What a play from Pogi under the tower. No fear, no worries. I mean, I got to give it to Insomniacs right now. They're just shredding through the Valley game 2. And they don't get too crazy. Wait a second, Craxy taking some damage, but he's able to cable away. They don't get too crazy, you know, don't get too ahead of yourselves. I think that was a little bit, maybe not the smartest play for Pogi there. You don't want to get too cocky when we're past this 10-minute mark now.
I feel like they should have already had this mid tower pushed down though, which could be a little bit of a problem into coming into this mid to late game. Next to be a Lord push here. Sicilian is about to go down by Fanny. GG's to the Sicilian, just absolutely destroyed. Now the Valley is down one person. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, Hate does miss that I'm offended. I mean, and all it takes is one of those. This is how Insomniacs beat Team Sexy with Hate on this Ruby. He plays it so well. Make sure every ultimate counts. He does miss one here and there, but all it takes is one to completely change a game around. And not only that, but Gala with these petrifies on this Yuzong. They have the heroes and the compositions to make the plays that can bring a team fight in their hand any second.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to lose probably to two mid towers with this Lord. We already just lost one before the Lord even came out. Look at an engagement here.
Another Petrified Gala able to get the kill onto Yuzi. He's taking a bit of damage, so he's forced to back off. The Lord, though, still barreling down that bottom lane. Minions coming down the mid. But my guess is Pogi. Is he going to decide to go for it? Hate coming in. They want to try to take this mid tower, like G said, clear up more space, help them rotate around this jungle. Lord is coming. Do you think the Valley can defend this push right here, G?
I think they'll be able to defend this push. I just don't think, unless they do something or come up, this Kufra gets a really good set on multiple targets, it's going to be rough for him. I mean, just like how how Priv8 was saying that, I was like, Roger, what? Just how he was saying that the Eve is just not getting enough people inside of their actual, like, ults.
Nice concealed play. Followed up by the feathered air strike. Guapsi coming in to try to help, but it's still just not enough damage. Gala doing a great job at helping with that disengage. And those are the tight, precise movements we've been seeing from Insomniacs all night. The Tyrant's Rage coming from Arvel, but Pokey's ready to get out of it and just keep chipping away at this blue buff down in the bottom lane. The push is coming forward. They want this inhibitor. Yuzi coming in onto Hayden Gala, not able to get the stun. Gala re-engages, misses the knockup to jump over that tower, but minions chipping away. They are going to take this tier 2 in the mid lane now. So Insomniacs just keeping pressure all over the map currently. Not only that, but the inhibitor has fallen also in this gold lane on the top.
It's just a huge difference between the way these teams are engaging and the confidence that they have with these engagements. And it might be part of what you said, that on the side of the Valley, they lost that basic, who was essentially the person making the shot calls, making sure that the team was organized, making sure that everything was lined up before he went in for those engagements. And this might be kind of where the failing is right now, because their engagements are lacking, and it does seem like they're not engaging with the precision that you like. Right there, you just saw Kufr go in. It did not land on Hate. Like, the point there, what was the Kufr going to do after that? Since he wasn't even in range of it. It's going to come down to them trying to tighten up. They were able to get a good engagement earlier. If they can do that without face checking this, they might be able to have a chance here at winning. But right now, it's going to come down to probably a big mistake on the side of Insomniacs if they can capitalize on that, because right now they're playing a very clean, crisp game.
Yeah, I think they need to maybe even just stay grouped up, let them come to you, and try to have Silent play the distance. And this could be it. Hate in the line. Nostalgia does get pulled out of that real manipulation. Gala taking a bit of damage here. Yujin keeping his distance. Some nice pokes. Yuzi up against all four, but the damage too much. He is able to land on top of the health. Hate get some of that health bar back, but he may be a little too deep for his own good. I don't think he's going to be able to take out Hate here. He knows he's going down. Yuzi will pay the price before Lord is coming. That's a 40-second death counter. Guapsi now bringing the engage, trying to clean up, but is going to get locked up. And this is what I meant. The Ruby, I get what you're trying to do. You have one opportunity. Lore's coming down. Everybody's low health. Can you make the play? But Ruby is there to lock you up in your tracks. Not only that, Barza with the feathered airstrike. Now Lord barreling down 2 members taken off the map. And Insomniac still deciding to play it slow because the rest of the team was forced to go back to base. Will they be able to finish it? They do have this wave coming down the mid. They are going to connect. Yuzi will be up in just a few seconds, but I don't know if it's going to be enough time. You don't have Guapsi. Gala pushing forward, opening up his presence. Real manipulation does come up in the back, but the tower getting burst down. Gala has locked in. Arvel trying to stop him and push them away. Yuzi taking some damage. This could be the play. I like the fact that Yujin is keeping his distance, picking away with that first skill. Almost brings Poggy down. Poggy may go down here. Not quite able to secure it. Yuzi will be able to get a kill onto Craxy. It's 1-for-1 on the map. All the inhibitors are down, but the Valley is doing a great job at defense as we creep closer to this 20-minute mark here, Private.
Yeah, and they were doing great with the disengagements on the side of the Valley. Unfortunately, with that Lord engagement, they probably could have chased Insomniacs at least to the mid range where the Lord was at. And if they didn't get the kills, if they were getting kited too far, then they could have just transitioned over to the Lord. But they didn't. They hesitated, and then Guapsi on his own decided to try to go out there, try to make the plays, and paid for it because the rest of the team was kind of dealing with the Lord. Like I said, it's kind of been like it doesn't seem like a unit right now. It seems like people kind of like making their own, deciding to make their own plays instead of like everybody kind of like having one mouth here, and everybody kind of like doing things together.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it's coming down to a downfall of not being able to have enough CCs or sets, like I was saying. But we do see, I mean, if they could get an easy team wipe and everybody work together, they have the heroes to do it. I mean, Yve, huge defense. So hard to penetrate the base with her there. And then they also have the Sicilian now. I mean, he's going to be just hitting like a monster. So, I mean, all it does is take one play. One play.
Yeah, as we creep into this, 18-20 minute mark, you're completely right. One big play, one nice set. All we need is one. Arvel hasn't had anything crazy. If he can make that one big play, if Cecilion can get that second skill to lock onto 2 or 3 members, and all he needs is probably 2 shots at this point, and down goes Ashley, down goes Pogi, Craxy. Most of these squishies in the back line, they just need to buy enough space for him to lock in. Hate taking a bit of damage, a nice knock-up. Guapsi, they are able to get the wave. The immortality comes up. They're not quite able to get the finish, and now Guapsi takes some damage from Gala in the back line. The Petrified lands, but the kill does not. Minions are coming in the valley, stuck in their base with this defense, but Lord is coming. Will Insomniacs finish this here, Private?
I'm not sure that they will be able to with, well... Honestly, it's hard to tell. They do have, like G was saying, they do have that Sicilian, they do have that Eve, they have an immense amount of clear, and quick clear at that. So they can take this down quickly. It just depends on how they're able to kite back here. And it looks like they're going to go on a full engage.
Airstrike. Ashley's forced to use that Winter Truncheon, so the Feather Airstrike does stop. That is good for the Valley. Gala, maybe a little overextended in this back line, but he's creating space. He wants to try to get that Lord to connect in, but they are going to be able to melt down. Guapsi in the back line, able to take out Ashley. He is going to get taken out, though, from Gala. We're having some trades. Immortality does come up for Pogi. Can Arvel get the finish here? Pogi taking some damage as Yuzi gets the kill. In the Valley finally coming on top in a team fight. Arvel finally making some slight plays here. And like I said, this could finally be the comeback. Are we going to see a reverse sweep here?
I mean, we are seeing that the gold difference is getting back, but Manny coming in to take some damage on the base. They're trying to pick it up.
But it's still just not enough. Gala overextended, taking some big damage. Eugen just keeping his distance here. Craxy trying to lock in, but look at that Tyrant's Rage just to get him away from the tower. Gala now on to the Nexus. Whirlwind Burst does come up. Gala will go down, and they will defend with the base having only 10%. 3 members of Insomniacs bite the bullet. What a defense from the Valley at 20 minutes, G.
I mean, they all could push mid right now and get some easy picks, and they could reverse sweep this if they would dedicate to it.
Essentially, they've lost their diver. They've lost Yuzong right now. So Eve will be free to go ahead and use that real-world manipulation for the team here. She's still kind of lagging in the back here a bit.
Yeah, she is. She had to clear up that lane to get the push in. Hay is taking some damage. Eugen, though, he's going to be able to keep picking Pogi. He needs to back off. Down goes Hay, and the Valley is pushing back. They have 1 wave of minions. Can they make the play? Ashley does not have that Feathered Airstrike yet. Craxy coming in. 1 Canyon minion. Can you win the game with this? Or they decide to back off. Lord, back up. Yuzi's going to go back to base to clear out this wave, but the Valley is starting to make a comeback. Gala on the chase of Ghost of Eugen. A nice stun on a Nostalgia. Nostalgia taking a bit of damage, forced to use that Winter Truncheon. Can't you get away? No, Gala will get the kill. No, the Immortality comes up, but you're still taken out.
Fanny just ended the game.
Oh, wow.
Fanny ended the game, backdoored it.
No.
What a good fight. What a good fight by the Valley at the end there.
No.
Backdoored Fannied.
No.
Backdoored Fannied.
Oh my god.
No, it just is such a great amount of aggression on the side of Insomniacs, knowing their comp, being able to push in and keeping the Valley on their back foot. They were eventually starting to find a little bit of a stride with the kiting, with the kind of like baiting out somebody to try to get the team to kind of engage on them. They were finding success for that. Unfortunately, it was too late in the game, and I kind of think that if it weren't for that Fanny backdoor there, they probably would have been on the winning side here, because they were starting to find their stride, especially with defending the base. I feel like Insomniacs were trying to use the same bullheaded method that was winning the early game on the core, and it just wasn't working because you still had that Sicilian, you still had that Eve, so like it was starting to turn, but thankfully, Craxy had seen enough and decided to close it up.
Man,
GG it.
I love a good backdoor, but when it's like that, I kind of hate it, you know? There's moments where I'm like, especially when I miss it, then I really hate it. But, man, not the finish I wanted. I really want to see a game 3, but I guess we're not. Insomniacs take the sweep on the Valley with a nice backdoor. Insomniacs looking good right now. This Sunday, they are going to go up against Team Sexy. And if there is a team right now that I feel can bring the heat to Team Sexy, I think Insomniacs is one of those teams for sure. Pogi just on fire tonight. Cracks, Ashley also, Gala. The thing about, I say this about Team Sexy sometimes. I'm going to say it about Insomniacs, and I say this about other teams. When I really see a good team, it's hard to pick an MVP. Literally every player made crucial moments in both of those games. Gala with the Petrify knockups, Ashley with the positioning and timing of those feathered airstrikes, Craxy with the epic finish, Hate, Pogi. The whole team, every player makes sure that they are seen and makes sure that they are important to what's going on the map. So a well-deserved win to Insomniacs there.
It was definitely an insane sweep. The Valley almost pulling back there at the end, but like you were saying, really, really great plays by Insomniac. They brought their A game in the playoffs, man.
Yes.
Yeah, and it probably came down to what we were talking about earlier, is those comfort picks on them. While on paper it didn't look like a great comp, especially with the Fanny, which ended up clutching the game for them. But they showed that comfort, that relaxation in all of the engages, knowing what they had to be doing, where everybody was going to be, what they needed to do to bring down the heroes or their positioning, like Ashley and Pogue and Hate, a big one that stood out in my mind with how they were positioning and how they were in all of those engagements. It was just masterfully done on the side of Insomniacs here.
No, exactly.
Most definitely. So at this point, we will be jumping on to our final game of the night. Let's get back to this caster's desk. Camera's still working. We finally got it back up. We got the good camera on. I'm not looking like a ghost. You can actually see my tie. Very happy. So up next, we're going to have TSU versus Area 77. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very good game, especially after watching TSU earlier tonight. I feel comfortable with it. I feel I was worried about TSU, and now they're coming in. One thing I can say with TSU versus Area 70, I feel like they're definitely a matchup I enjoy watching. From the first season, they had some great matches. Area 77 takes the trophy for season 1, and they beat TSU. I'm pretty sure in the semifinals or in the first line of the bracket. Then we go into the NACT, where TSU beats Area 77 and the top 8 of the bracket. They knock Area 77 out of the tournament, and TSU ends up taking the whole thing for the North America Community Tournament. So now we are in the semifinals of Season 2, TSU versus Area 77. I think we're in for a good game here.
I feel like it is. Hopefully it's not another sweep.
I don't think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna see a good game here. A good game.
I feel like TSU has kind of shaken off whatever ailments were on their team the last few weeks. These meta changes, all these changes with the new updates and stuff, they've shaken that off. They've shown here already tonight that they have got it down. They can be aggressive, and they're just being a menace with these new tankier picks. So is that going to be enough? Is that momentum with that sweep that they had going to be enough to clear out Area 77, which have been pretty dominant in this league so far?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my Fanny phobia senses are going off. Someone might need to ban a Fanny.
I think there's ever since Shark picked up the Fanny in this league in this season, my Fanny phobia has been through the freaking roof, man. I mean, not only that, but just it's become such a niche pick for this season. Such a, it's just, you know, people talk about it. Oh, Fanny can be tank, Fanny can be offlane, it's doable, but you never really see it, like, not as much as we've seen it this season, and not as well as we've seen it this season. It definitely makes for an exciting game, but Area 77 TSU, that's not really their style. I think we're going to see something a little different here. I don't know if that's going to be something we see. I'm wondering if we're going to see that Basha jungle again from TSU in this game. We saw them do so well against Deuce Knights with it. So I'm wondering if that might be a strategy that they pull out of their pocket here.
Yeah, I mean, the box, I mean, he was doing really well. I mean, that was an insane jungle. Like, the speed, I just think the other team just, like, they knew what was going on. They slowed down the pace, like Priv8 was saying. The rotations were on key, just leaving the buffs, stopping them from, like, essentially holding them off and not getting farm. And he's like, whatever, I'm gonna go get farm elsewhere. You just literally just holding me back for a second, no biggie.
Yeah, and that's going to be how these teams can answer that new meta. Are we going to be seeing TSU go back to that Boxia? Or are they going to pull out something new? Because, like, that's kind of what's so dangerous about probably about being in more matches in one night, is because you already have an opportunity for for Area 77 to have seen what TSU has, to see how they excel and what they excel at tonight. So it's almost kind of dangerous to kind of dip your hand back into that same well. Especially here in the semifinals, you're probably going to have to want to go for something a little different, something that's going to keep Area 77 on their toes. Because honestly, we did see that there was a counter to that Boxia, and that's patience and keeping calm.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Insomniacs did so well is they picked that carry. That was just so clutch. Not only that, but putting the DHS onto Beatrix. So yeah, patience and knowing how to bide time. You know, knowing when you need. You know, sometimes you have to. Sometimes your only option is go for the late game, go for that mid to late game opportunity, and know how to build space for your heroes that you need to get to that point. And Insomniacs did it very well. You know, so if TSU does bring that composition, sometimes that is the only real answer there. You know, you can't always match up the early, you know, sometimes you don't want to take the risk of going early game against early game and just seeing who comes out on top in the first 3 minutes. It's like a coin flip, you know? And I like the fact that Insomniacs chose to take a more strategic route. Some might say it's riskier, but I think if you have the players who can handle that type of strategy, it is definitely the smarter play.
100%.
And yeah, and we were talking about that comfortableness too of people playing together. That came into part. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I want to say that was part of one of the keys to victory, is that they had players. One, who were comfortable with each other, who had played together throughout this entire league, and two, on picks that they were comfortable with as well. Where on the side of the valley, you had not just any player taken out, but as Rex said, the shot caller, the person who was the one kind of like organizing.
I don't know for sure if he was the shot caller, but I definitely think, like, you could definitely see there was. I mean, Eugen in the off lane, definitely just. You could just see their whole composition was a little off without basic.
Even if he wasn't the shot caller, you could see in those engagements there was, especially in the early game, where Yves would only kind of catch one or two people after Cooper's ult. They were off. There was just not the synchronicity that you had with a team that had been tried and tested together.
Yeah, there's definitely something off.
Again, yeah, like you were saying, that I felt like there was just, I don't know if it was an upset between the team, what was possibly going on, but one thing you need to have when you're coming into the playoffs is some great mentality, knowing you're coming here to get that dime.
you gotta shine for the dime, man. I mean, And I hate to say it, I hate to be like, oh, they only lost because they didn't have their main lineup or this or that, but that is part of having a good team. Yes, you could have some of the best star players, but if you guys if you're missing games or this or that, then you're not the best team. So whether you like to say that this player is better than this player, this person, the fact is a team loss. Teams are going to lose because of those little things, because of not being organized, because all of that stuff in the greater scope of true competitive play. Tom Brady is not going to miss a football game.
Nope.
It's just not going to happen. And that's what makes teams good, is everyone's there for practice, everyone's there for their games, things like that. It's part of competitive play. It really is. It's not all about skill. All of those things, the disciplines of being able to play on a team and time things out correctly, is part of competitive play.
And that's even what most everybody saw of what made BTK so dangerous in M3. Not just their skill level, because teams can have skill. All of these teams have skill, and they've shown it through this. But it's how well they know each other, and what's not said, what they don't need to say anymore. To each other while they're on the field, so that because they already know, because they played with each other so much. I mean, and that's kind of why I kind of like roll my eyes sometimes when we get to these. If they would have had this person or that person, they would have won, but they didn't. And like you said, that is part of what makes a good team, not just their entire roster, but what they can bring to each fight. And unfortunately, if not everybody is showing up, I mean, that's an adjustment you guys are going to need to make to kind of better yourselves, to kind of like keep yourselves going, and with that cohesion that you guys need.
Well, we are doing the ping
time to get the dime.
Gotta put in the time for the dime. We are doing ping checks right now. We'll be starting this game in just a minute. This will be the final series of the night. Things have been mostly going according to schedule. I guess it's good that we didn't have all best of threes, because even the best of twos were pretty long matches. We haven't had any just complete dominations just yet. I mean, yes, TSU beat Deuce Knights, yes, and Sonics, but I don't think any of those matches were complete rollovers. But as we're now moving into the semifinals, I think this is when things get a bit more heated here.
This is where T-Rex is going to be, talking a lot. He's going to be out of breath.
Yeah. You probably won't even hear these two guys talk half this game. I'm sorry to say. It'll just be me shouting. But just know, we do have some people, and it's. I want to also express, it's not my goal to be the only play-by-play caster here. We are, working on making more voices heard. I'm tired of editing highlight clips and just hearing me yelling constantly. We're trying to bring some variety. Up and coming events, you may be hearing Priv8 take on some play-by-play. Aiko just needs to learn his hero names a little better, and we'll let him play-by-play more.
Listen. if I say Lee, it's Lee. No.
Lee, Yi Lu. It's Yi Lu. You
Lee. You. If I want to say, what was it? Uranus? Was it Uranus?
Uranus. I hate you so
French.
much.
Those deep roots of the.
I don't know. I don't understand why someone would name someone Uranus.
This was my biggest complaint during the draft screen, when they changed saying the hero names to whatever voice line they gave them, because it was easy to kind of like not pay attention or do something else while the draft was going on, because you could hear Gujin, Granger, Guinevere.
What the hell is
Granger? They said Granger for some reason. I'd say Granger, but I always heard Granger from them. But it was easy to hear those names.
I don't know.
Listen, unless Google is talking, I think we make up our own names.
We are just remember, guys, we're just doing the ping check. It's why you guys can't. We know you can't see anything. We wouldn't be talking like this if you couldn't.
What an incredible win by TSU, and you guys missed it.
Imagine, like.
Listen, just went straight down the middle.
when the game's going on, I'm not looking at the camera. Trust me. So if we're just casually talking like this, then we're in a ping check or something. So just be like I said, it's a ping check. We will be jumping into the game. A couple players are just clearing their catch real fast as we get ready for it. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be the most exciting matchup tonight, personally.
Same.
Same.
Thinking the downtime, I think I might need to use the restroom because they got me on the edge of the seat.
You can use the restroom while we start draft and stuff if you want. No problem. Right. Me and Priv8 can handle it. I might take a restroom break after you get back, so because we're about to start. So go.
Let's go.
No, I mean go to the restroom if you need to. All right. Area 77 will have first pick. Has first pick, and we will be jumping in, boys and girls. Area 77 versus TSU. Don't forget to like and share the stream. If you haven't liked the stream yet, you're probably a noob at Mobile Legends. And that's it. Let's get into this draft. Let's get into this draft.
Definitely want to see what these guys have as far as the picks. Are we going to be seeing, like you say, the counters to what TSU or to what Area 77 is comfortable on, or are we going to see the more meta bands out here? Those Mashas, Groks, and Boxias, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think one benefit that TSU had, not doing too amazing in the second half of the season, is it kind of leaves you open, like, well, what do we ban against them right now? Like, what do I ban against TSU? They haven't really showed too much of their hand. Of course, they just did really well in the last game. Maybe Area 77 was watching that game and knows, maybe we do want to ban the Basha. Who knows? But I think we might just end up seeing some kind of regular bans and picks here.
It does seem that
My turn.
Oh. Okay, see. It does seem like area TSU does not like Ling.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Ling. I hate facing that. It's just so hard, especially a great Ling player who can get that Tempest of Blades, collect all 4 swords, and then get right back up on the wall while we're sitting there like scratching our heads, like what happened as 2 players on the field.
No, it's definitely like that, and I mean, Ling's just a monster, and they just don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I did see the Team DK on display on the stream, and I was about to call TSU DK because they changed their clan name, but it is what it is. Esmeralda, crazy good band. Valentina, very situational. So they're looking good. It's looking good. I can't wait until they duke it out, man. What about you?
Yeah, they do take out that Esmeralda, which is going to leave that side lane open. Do they have an answer with some of this new meta? I've seen a lot of Bellarics, even Boxias in those side lanes. We still do have a Uranus, not very popular in the North America right now for side lane, but I still feel like Uranus is pretty strong. What I don't see being taken out here yet is any of those backline divers, those Yuzongs, those people who can get into and punish those long distance backlines. And of course, we have a Fanny ban. So it's gonna be pretty.
I told you. Didn't I say it? It's Fanny phobia going off. Get her out of here, boys. 3 strikes and she's gone.
Oh God! I walk into this.
Justice in the world.
Now listen, gals on this Chow, literally, teams been banning it, man. Teams have been banning the Chow for Gals Cutie, and now he's getting it. So I think this could be huge for Area 77 right here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else I missed?
Is dead.
No, I mean a Fanny phobia went off. I finally got her banned.
Your team is picking.
Then let the world betray me.
We still do have a Eve. Eve is still open too, and hasn't been picked up yet. I wonder if Area 77 is going to go pick that up, or if they've got a different plan in mind. Usually, like one of the first rounds picks for her, but I think they have a very specific comp and a very specific plan in mind here right now.
Yeah, and we know,
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw how well they did with that Clint against Deuce Knights. It's definitely been a shredder for TSU, and I'm glad, again, I have to say it again, I'm glad they're bringing it back onto the playing field against Area 77 in these playoffs, because we just know how detrimental he can be in these games.
Rocks
Oh.
need no
Oh.
protection from
Your
Oh.
team is
Wow. I mean,
Jungle Basha.
this is what we've seen in one of the other games, though. We've seen a team just go full tank, like well, not full tank, full maneuverability. I mean, you got Og, you got Cho, you got Boxia. You're looking at an insanely fast team here that can hopefully get out of everything.
And you're looking at a lot of engagement, a lot of early gank potential inside that jungle. They're going to be rushing in there, and they're going to have escape routes too. They're going to be able to get over walls. They're going to be able to find those exits if they need to, or find those entrances into those jungles. So we're going to need an answer for that on the side of TSU if they're going to be able to counter that plan that they put on to Deuce Knights a couple hours earlier.
And they're bringing, but the thing is TSU bringing the same exact composition of what we saw from Insomniacs earlier. You know, bringing in this X-Borg as a jungler this time. Should be able to kite, keep space, do nice true damage onto this Cho, onto this Basha. And I don't know if Nikto or maybe, I guess he's locked in with that, so we're not going to see a carry this time. I was thinking we might end up seeing a carry also, but plenty of, with Japanese and Nikto creating space, I think it is a possible answer for that tanky front line of Area 77 right now.
Your team is picking.
It's interesting they go to ban a Lunox, and we still see Eve still open. I mean, still solid mage picks on the side of TSU. I mean, this could be anybody's game. Everything's looking kinda good for both teams.
Yeah, I don't think
this comp was successful on the side of TSU earlier. Even though the night. Oh.
Your team is
okay.
picking.
All right. Private?
I hope.
Oh,
Well, I don't see a use for Lolita right now. Maybe they're, I don't, like, Lolita's big thing is against, like, marksman, especially those double marksman comps, with her shield being able to, like, block a lot of the damage there. She can't, I mean, on this side, she can't even block an umbrella with her shield, unfortunately. So, I mean, we're gonna have to see. It's gonna have to come down to that
ultimate.
That ultimate, and how she can set up or help her team disengage, or even set up from disengagements here.
So you don't
And that
Oh,
Raphael.
That might have just sealed the deal.
Oh, that
So-
is some speed in there.
Yeah, I was about to say, so much maneuverability on the side of Area 77 right now. They are going to be all over them like spider monkeys.
Yeah, I see heavy aggression from Area 77 right now. A lot of early game push. We already know how aggressive the Basha can be in the early game, invading jungle. Area 77 definitely going to come in strong here, I think. TSU answering back with late game potential here. Japanese on this Clint, Sicilian with Ziggy. And they do have a nice front line with Dog Tamal and Nikto at the head of things. So there is it's definitely going to be a early game versus late game here. And can TSU survive the initial onslaught that we're probably going to see from Area 77 here and buy enough time to get Sicilian and Clint to do the damage that they need to?
I think it's going to have to be coming down to, we've seen the Boxia just go insane in the jungle, but the Axborg is definitely a lot slower. So is TSU going to respond the same way against their jungle being heavily invaded?
Yeah, it's gonna come. I feel like the win condition for the side of TSU is to be able to properly disengage in this early game. This early game, they're not gonna want to dive. They're not gonna want to just try to get these kills because I feel like they're outclassed in the early game. They're gonna need to be able to use these abilities to try to disengage that Yuzong, that Lolita ult to be able to disengage to get their teams to get away, and then from mid game, then you can start turning it around and start using those engagement tools that you have. Hopefully, as you start hitting your power spikes.
Yeah, look at Gal's already creating vision for her team. You know, Yuna putting pressure up in this top lane onto Nikto. So it looks like Yuna, wait, a nice pick, a nice knock up from both sides. Nikto not being able to kite Gal's Cutie, forced to run away and go back to base within the first minute of the game here.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest thing we've seen about like these picks that they decide to go for huge movement is that they're just so squishy. And I mean, of course, going with the Raphael is a great pick to be able to get in there. Uh-oh.
Oh, Tamal taking a bit of damage. Taken out. Tamal able to get the kill onto Mitsuke. He is in a bad position, but still a nice pick onto the gold lane. But he does use the flicker with the first skill sprint, able to get out of there. A nice play coming from Tamal. This is the aggression we like to see from him.
Yeah, just a great pick off there. Just what you were saying, so squishy that even Tamal was able to pick him off with the Lolita, and then that escape was just something of beauty.
Flawless. No, it's we'll see how it goes. I mean, again, we'll come down to the players and how they play and who gets those easy picks and sees what happened, you know. And I mean, the gold lead's not crazy. We're gonna be going for our first turtle here. Looking like it might not be contested.
No,
but
Area 77 is coming. Yeho from the back. Ziggy taking a bit of damage, forced away. Yeho able to steal it. In comes the last insanity from Nikto, though, locked onto Gal's Cutie, able to get the kill. And now they're moving on to Yato. A nice flame shot to try to keep them at bay and keep them away. Yuna with the knockup. Down goes Dogtor. TSU taking some damage in this first 2 minutes. A nice Lord steal. I mean, they are definitely brawling it out here early on.
This is some crazy fighting going down. And I mean, this is what we wanted to see. That steal on the turtle was key. Because, I mean, looking like the X-Borg is doing fairly well. So we'll see how things...
Oh, Japanese gets away with just a sliver of health there. Tamal trying to take down that dog. Private, at this point, you know, do you think Area 77 is controlling the pace of this game here?
I don't think that they're delegating the pace. I feel like they're winning some fights here. They're getting some good picks, but they're not, like, I don't want to say controlling it, not in the manner that I think that they hoped that they were, especially with this box hit. I feel like these picks are going to start wearing off earlier than later for the side of Area 77, because these types of comps, they shine when you're aggressive, they shine when you're in the enemy's jungle, and they're not doing that right now, and I fear that towards the mid to late game they're going to start suffering for it.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, they definitely need to push a little bit harder, I think, in the early game, because they don't have as much a late game potential as you would think, you know? Well, I mean, not even as you think, but they just don't have that much late game potential, at least as TSU does, I feel, especially with Zig on the cylinder. And Yato taking some damage, will get taken out. Nikto just on fire right now with this jungle X-Borg, doing such a great job at finding those moments to use that ultimate and make it count.
And I mean, the X-Borg might be the counter pick to all these tank jungles, you know? Just being able to get that true damage like you were saying. But it's always coming down to the key plays. I mean, they need the team right here for this turtle.
I don't even think they can contest this turtle. Yeho is going to secure it. And at this point, though, I mean, even though they've gotten 2 turtles, the gold gap isn't that much. TSU keeping it, and that's exactly what they want. TSU, as long as the gold's even, just like what we saw with Insomniacs earlier, it means they're winning right now. Just able to get a kill on the Yato. In comes Newman on blast. Mitsuke will go down next. Down goes Dogtor, though, from the back line. Gal's Cutie and Tamal Tamal now on the run. Yayo on the
Oh!
chase. He doesn't have that wheel spinning yet, but I got a feeling he's going to take him to the world ends. He decides to revert back and not go for it. But Ziggy now on the list. Yayo, is he going to go into this tower? Comfort them all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
nice
bloody ready.
kill. I love it. I love it. I love it, Private.
Oh my god. Yeah, just it's so back and forth right now. It's these teams are doing their best to kind of like clean up, but like these fights, they're not even going to like the aggressor. It's like one team will aggress, the next one will answer, and then it's like a coin flip to see who gets the edge off. Oh, Japanese might be in trouble here.
Yeah, nice flicker, but in comes Nico with the last insanity. Japanese will go down, and the last enemy damage is just not enough to take out Yeho. Tamal with a nice stun. Ziggy following up with that Bat's Feast. Tamal with the Numenon Blast, landing down. Ziggy doing a bit more poke damage, but still just not enough to deal with the tank that Yeho is right now. Area 77 keeping a pace, but I'm just worried. I said it, I'll say it again. I'm worried about their late game potential against TSU right now.
Yeah, and I want to say that the biggest thing right now is that the Sicilian just isn't able to get his farm on right now. I mean, he's 2-0, but I just think he's I don't know if he's got enough gold to be able to do enough damage or build his items. So we'll see how things go. I know late game he's going to be devastating, but it looks like he's just slightly behind. And same thing with Japanese. He's a little behind too. He's 0-2. The team is definitely putting the pressure on.
Oh, nice pick. The Holy Baptism does come down, but Tamal's answering with that Numenon Blast. Stunned is what Yayo is as Nikto comes in with the last insanity, but he's taking too much damage. Yato with the outplay, able to take him out, pushing forward. Yeho keeping the front line as Tamal takes some more damage. Mitsuke coming around the side, and a flame shot gets the finish. A double kill going to Yato. Nice positioning from Yato. He definitely some good plays from Area 77. Finally, not as soon as I would have liked, but we are starting to see them push a little bit harder as we come into the seventh minute of this game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, all that damage being focused on the Boxia just not paying off. 4 players were on him during that team fight, and brought him down to only half health, while the rest of the team is getting rained on.
Yeah, I mean, they can't do any damage to him right now, G.
No, I think it's coming down to someone needs to get that Demon Hunter sword. Like, we need some damage that's gonna destroy a tank.
We talk about how Yato, like, he knew he was dead, so he just goes in and is able to still get the kill onto Nikto. I just love that. Instead of running, he knows he's gonna get caught up, so he decides to push in, and at least he dies for a trade. He's able to take out Nikto for his death, which overall made for jungler a pretty good trade on the map, Private.
Yeah, and it is a good trade, and it's probably the best thing you can hope for when you get caught up, is to be able to take somebody down with you. Looks like Doctor might be in trouble here. The Holy Baptism coming down.
Yeah, but he has that ultimate ready to run away. He's going to push back in. Nikto now coming from the back, but Mitsuke has rotated up to this EXP lane, and they're going to try to chip away here. Yeho uses that Tortoise Pusins to do a bit more damage. Nikto now with the last insanity coming in on Mitsuke, not able to make it actually. He does get the kill. Tamal with him on blast, locking down Onagao's Cutie, and able to get the finish, but here comes Area 77. Yato on fire, does get a kill, but will be taken out from Dog Tour on the chase. Yeho just too tanky, but I think he may have bitten off more than he can chew here. Look at them picking away. Tamal with the flicker stun, and down goes Yeho. Finally, 2-1-5, the first death onto him. Definitely showing why this jungle Basha can be so important.
Oh, yeah, he's so thick right now. I mean, it took how many of them? 3 of them to take him out there? That was crazy.
And they had to use, like, all of them had to use, like, all of their kits. Everything.
Everything.
Flickers.
Dude. That was crazy. Crazy. Are we going to see a Lord contest here?
I don't know if they can. Botcha is coming on the map, but it's just getting melted down a little too fast. No record coast. Tamal is going to be zoning. A nice holy baptism, but Nikto will secure it. And because of Yuna going a little too deep, he does get the kick on to Nikto, but he will pay the price and be taking out. TSU now taking the game into their hands here. Yes, the gold is still in the lead for Area 77, but I got a feeling that's going to end very soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if trying to contest that Lord was the answer, especially since you had Yashao down and trying to make his way back. I think maybe they thought they could elongate it, maybe try to get them, bait them into fighting them, but like they even took deaths for that too, and it still cost them the Lord. So it's starting to it's getting less of an even. Well, I mean, it still is even. Honestly, it's pretty much anybody's game now. There's no real thorough I don't know, they don't have the momentum yet on either side. They're both kind of just taking advantage of finding people out, people making those mistakes in those team fights, and it still seems like anybody's game right now.
I don't know. I think I'm forced to disagree a little bit. Mitsuke will get taken out. I think that this is exactly what TSU wanted. I think from the beginning, just like what we saw from Science, I think Area 77 wasn't able to capitalize the early game enough, and now that we're in this 11-minute mark and they don't have enough of a lead, if actually TSU has the lead, this is the worst possible position for Area 77 right now. TSU closing in, and this Japanese, again, he's 1-2-8. Yes, he's a little behind, but he's still doing nice damage. And Ziggy's sitting at 3-0-6. So even though Japanese is behind, you have the Sicilian who's got some nice items in and is building up stacks more and more and more right now. G.
And I mean, this is what we're gonna see here. That I mean, and all that's gonna get. The Sicilian is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, so... But
he does get taken out, but Yato will also come down. Last Insanity right in the middle of the pit, and the knockup comes in from Dogtor. A double kill going to the side of TSU. Yato, Galscu, Mitsuke, all off the map as TSU presses their advance. They do have a wave of minions. They're going to take this red buff, move back to the bottom, and clear out that tier 2 tower. Yeho no longer being as much of a threat. Yes, he is tanky, but there's just no real damage coming from Area 77 right now.
We've kind of seen that the Boxia just does really, really well in the early game, but after people pick up items, he kind of just seems to fall off.
Yeah, nice knockup from Yuna. Connecting on to Nikto, Way of the Dragon, but it's still not enough. Tamal with the Numen on Blast, firing back. Dogtor keeping distance, and this is what we always see from these Yuzongs. Coming in, coming out. Yeo trying to push in now with that Tortoise boost and forced to run away. Tamal taking a bit of damage, but Ziggy just keeping distance, keeping them at bay as he fires those skill ones. You don't want to walk into those shots. They need to get Ziggy off the map before they can push a strong engage into TSU.
That was just such a strong engagement and a chase by Area 77. And I feel like if maybe they had focused a little harder on macro, maybe took out a little bit more of these towers in the mid, they would have had a little bit more chase in them. But they were able to pretty much run across the map back to their tower away from that disengagement. And I feel like that was like 110% from Area 77, but they still weren't able to pick up the kills now.
Yeah, it's just too much. Here comes a Numen on Blast from Tamal. Does not connect. Yato trying to do something. Will get picked off here. But Yeo in the back line, ready to get the turtle steal. He's not able to get it, and now he may pay the price because Nikto secures the Lord. Ziggy taking a bit of damage. Can they finally get the pick? Yes! Yeah. Gal's able to secure it, but Japanese now on the trail of Yuna as Dogtor harasses into that back. He is able to secure it. Down goes Yuna. It's a 2-for-1 trade, and the Lord falls into the hands of TSU. So once again, TSU comes out on top, and I'm just wondering more and more. Area 77 seems to be getting pushed more and more into this corner. Can they turn this around, Private?
They don't have an answer for the backline Sicilian right now. He did die in that engagement, but anything but engaging on that Sicilian at this point in the game is basically asking for you to lose some players, because he's just sitting back there raining destruction on you. And I don't think that they do have an answer right now. I don't really see something that can dive into the back line unless you're gonna maybe try to flank or pull a pincer move with Cho or Yato here.
And now as the Lord crashes into an inhibitor, they are able to take it out before it gets the finish. With a nice cook, but he's a little overextended. Ziggy will secure that kill. And then comes the Flicker Newman on blast, followed up by Nikto's last Insanity. A beautiful combo. Yato will go down next. Yeho is the last man standing. Can he get the Savage? No, it's stolen from Ziggy, but the game goes to TSU. 1-0, boys and girls.
Victory!
It was a fight in the beginning, but then it just become a slaughter fest.
I feel like TSU was very well prepared for that early game aggression and even kind of shut it down very quickly in the early game. Like I want to say even at like the 3 or 4 minute mark, Area 77 had stopped trying to go into the jungle, stopped trying to invade. And I wonder if that's more due to the fact of like what they answered last time with that X-Borg. We saw that when they went against Deuce Knights, that X-Borg pretty much made it look like they had all squishies on their team during these team fights. Just was able to burn them down so quickly with all that true damage that I mean maybe that's something that's going to need to be looked at a little bit further when we're in this meta and we're dealing with a lot of these tankier comps.
X-Ward may be making a comeback. Earlier we were talking about how Yu Zhong became a meta pick because of the marksman compositions, and now, even though there hasn't been any huge changes to X-Borg, he may start making a slight comeback with some of these tank meta compositions, which I like to see. I like to see the fact that there's answers to all of these. So can Area 77 answer to TSU this time? I think they probably would have done a bit, I think the Kagura was holding them back from some of that early game aggression. Normally, Area 70 likes to do the Lilia Raph combo, and I think that would have been a bit better to invade in. Or even like a Farza with the mobility of coming in and trying to steal enemy jungle. I think Yeho was just never really able to put the pressure down that you expect from a Bashia in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
I want to say the biggest thing that we've seen here is TSU has just turned completely around.
Who are these people?
I don't know what I'm saying. Are we seeing a new team? Like, what's going on here?
You're lulling them into a false sense of security, and now they've come at a whole.
It was all a head. Like I told you, I got a message from the manager, B Gamer, and he was like, "I just want to let you know we're gonna do good in the playoffs." And I was like, "All right," because you've seemed pretty sus over the season. And he was like, "Nah, trust us, we're gonna bring it." And they're not disappointing right now. So I'm excited for game 2 here. Let's get back to this caster's desk as we prep up for the next game. We're not going to waste too much time. TSU will have first pick this game. I'm excited for it. Do you think that we're going to see another sweep here, Aiko?
I hope not. But let's see what happens. I mean, I just seen TSU completely just change. Absolutely. Like they're just every single one of their players brought their A game, all got gold. They're just communicating so well. Like I don't know what's going on there, but cheers out to TSU right now. They're definitely giving us a show.
Yeah, they have answers now. It's felt like during the league that they were kind of like feeling things out, testing things, going outside the box to kind of figure out what worked. And it feels like that time has passed now. Now they have answers and they're ready to put those down. And it's been an amazing game. On whether it's going to be a sweep, can you imagine a sweeping Area 77 and then going into the finals against the winner of Sexy and do we have who are they facing again? Sexy and
Team Sexy will be up against Insomniacs.
Yeah, so can you imagine sweeping both of the teams if TSU could sweep both teams and then go up to the winner of Sexy and Insomniacs like that? That would be amazing. The amount of momentum that you would have behind your back to maybe be able to possibly take down the winner of that.
You were about
Yeah.
to say Team Sexy. Don't
I
lie.
did.
You were about to say it. You've already cast your dice on that game on the other side of the bracket. You've already done it.
He's already like, well,
Rule number 338 for casting: never show bias, Private. Never.
Jeez. We gotta hit him with the rule book.
No, but
Fanophobia is going on right now, though.
it's
Look at that.
real.
Ling and Fanny, get out of here.
TSU does take it off the map here, so I mean, I think there's definitely I don't think we should count out Area 77 just yet. I will say one thing. They do have a sub in tonight. I don't think Yuna is the regular player. I got a message from Yato saying we may not be able to have our full 5-man lineup. Who was it? Someone had eye surgery recently, and they're not able to like have a phone close up to their so yeah, Mark Cutie was not able to play this game, and he's been, you know, a player. And again, that's something I guess you can't really blame on Area 77. It's just kind of a sad thing that does happen here. But I guess another reason why, you know, let your subs play a bit more. Make sure your subs are getting airtime, because, you know, things like that are going to happen, and we've seen it happen in, you know, in major regions. We've seen it happen in pro leagues. Sometimes comp changes come in, and if they're not ready, if you haven't built that synergy, you know, it can definitely be a tough problem, because right now TSU is ready. They've got the full 5-man. They've been practicing. They know exactly what they want to do here.
They do. Area 77 does let through that Valentina pick. So we're going to see how that plays in. I don't think we've actually seen her tonight yet. She's been banned most of the time. So, but she has received a couple of bit of nerfs. She did kind of eke by that last little ninja nerf that came out yesterday. So she didn't get nerfed again. So apparently, yeah, apparently the developers are happy where she's at right now. So we'll see how she plays out. She's going to have that big of an effect. And man, picking out that export again.
I mean, they're smooth with it. Might as well keep it going. Oh! Jawhead?
Oh, Tamal on the Jawhead. Do it. Do it for me, Tamal. Do it for me.
do it for the vine.
So season 1, Tamal on Jawhead was something to be feared. He's only played it once or twice. It has like a 0% win rate for him right now, so I think they're kind of staying away from it. But I will say one thing, that season 1, Tamal's Jawhead was fire. The whole season we were talking about how, when are people going to start banning it? And finally in the playoffs, teams did start banning it because it was just such a problem. But he is going with that Lolita, and he, you know, Private, you mentioned that Lolita, and I am an agreeer. I think Lolita, the reason why she became so popular was due to her advantage over marksmans. But when you have some, you know, Shark, Tamal, some good Lolita players, they know how to position those ultimates so well and use them at the right time, so where it doesn't get caught up, it doesn't get stopped. And Tamal is definitely one of those Lolita players.
Definitely with the skill level that they play these at, where especially early, the opening minutes of the last game, you saw he was able to get in there, secure an early kill, and then able to disengage and get out after like 3 of the teams came down to kind of like swarm around him. So he definitely plays that Lolita at like a superior level to kind of cover up the holes of maybe it not being the greatest pick into the certain comps. But I mean, they're starting to prove me wrong on what actually Lolita is useful into.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised she's not banned.
Valentina?
No, the Lolita.
Oh, the Lolita, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I absolutely hate fighting her as a mage, just because, like, as a mage, I'm always fighting her with another mage, you know? So I'm always just getting CC'd and immediately set. So Lolita is just a monster. Absolute monster.
So what is, but here's the question, right? Japanese, not a lot of marksmen for him to pick. The Clint is taken up. Brody, Beatrix taken off. Do we see him pick something like a Lunox here in the gold lane? I think it would be decent against the tanky, against the Grok, against the Lapu Lapu, and there's not really a lot of mages. Maybe he goes for the Claude, but Blade Armor's kind of killed him. So, you know, what are the options for Japanese? I really got a feeling we might see that, might really see that Lunox here. Maybe a Sicilian gold lane? Maybe?
I think Dog Tour is going to XP.
Dog Tour on the Valentina.
On the Valentina. Yeah.
I don't know. No, I think
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know.
No.
Grants you immortality.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna stick with that.
Alice EXP.
Popple and Koopa are the
Which
best.
is also an
Your
interesting
team is
pick.
Hello.
He said, no way Alice is going mid. There's no freaking way. I mean, I wouldn't count it against TSU to do something like that because, like, I'm used to seeing them do crazy things, but I don't think so. I think we're gonna see a swap here possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want a Valentina to steal Thar's ult because that's just gonna wreck.
Crucial.
Wreck.
Or the Grok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
Or the
like
Grok.
Yato is gonna have a very hard time positioning here.
I just
with,
want to say Area
PS
77 has a lot of physical.
Yeah, but Farza does enough mage damage to where you still need to get magic. Like Farza's a glass cannon, man. Like she's you if you go all physical defense, that Farza's gonna destroy you.
Yeah.
5 seconds till the end.
Well, here we go. Is it going to be a sweep, or are we going to live to fight another game here between Area 77 and TSU?
So give us a little bit of breakdown right now, G. Tell, you know, a little bit of a lane breakdown. What do you think? What do you think has the early game here? What do you think are the win conditions for these teams?
I mean, we're seeing the heavy set teams here. Japanese on a Popo Koopa. That I'm gonna be locking it down, especially since he's going against where's that Clint in the sideline. I mean, that's a solid pick here. We're looking at 2 marksmans. I don't know, Area 77. Ooh, what? Maybe an early pick?
Possibly.
Lapu?
That's gonna be an
Oh!
early pick. Dogport's gonna get that kill. And first blood going to TSU. This is a scary start for Area 77 right now.
Do not feed the Valentina. Is the key.
I feel like they got out drafted, especially for these side lanes here. That Popple and Koopa into a Clint, that Alice into a Lapu Lapu. I mean, and then a mid lane here. What do you have? The Farza into Valentina. Not really over, but like I kind of am worried about the Farza's ability to be able to engage or to be able to lay down that feather airstrike without getting caught or getting jumped on.
I mean, she doesn't have anybody that's super squishy like that. You know, I mean, you got a lot of Nope, no engage here. They got out.
Nice try.
But yeah, I mean, you're just not seeing a lot of squishy heroes alongside PSU.
Yeah, and that's where Farza shines against those marksmen, against those mages that she can rain down on. And you don't really have that here. You're going to have her raining down on them and then be able to kind of power through it and kind of close the distance on her right here.
I mean, there is some late game possibilities for Area 77 with Claude and Clint Yeho coming in on the Japanese. Yato with the feathered airstrike, forcing Japanese back over. Japanese will go down here. Area 77 answering back up of the turtle. Yeho is able to connect and take it. Gals Cutie now on the run. Dog Tour uses the ultimate to try to get the knockup, forces the flicker out of Gals. But look at I mean, Dog Tour sitting at level 5 already right now, feeling strong, a little bit ahead of Yato over here. And they're going to push back into this lane. Yuna having a bit of a tough time. Nikto chipping away. Tamal going to get that stun down, and the kill goes into the hands of Yeho. TSU making some plays in the map, but I like the fact that Area 77 also not just playing their own pace still, not playing into the hands of TSU. You know, Yeho down here clearing up waves, wants to play their own game and not just follow along to TSU's rhythm.
Yeah. You see Popo Koopa almost taking out Jungle there, though.
Oh,
That was a huge pick.
That's bad. That's
That
bad
is
for Area
really
77.
bad. That was crazy.
Yeah, because
that was good.
I was gonna say too, it's just gonna come down to Yeho and this end game and how he's gonna be able to place these ults and be able to like take down in these team fights. But they're already starting to kind of shut him down a little bit out here.
I mean, what is Area 77 doing wrong right now, Private? Like, what? Because TSU is really just picking them apart in this early game. They've already taken a gold lead, 1,000. Where is the fault in Area 77's rotations, and you know, why are they losing out so bad right now?
I don't think that it's mostly rotations. It's because like they're answering. They did get that early kill as soon as the turtle came up. They went down and actually took advantage of TSU, where TSU usually shines, where they ignore turtle and go for the gold lane and get that gank. But they did that to them. However, I think it's just the picks. I think they kind of got outdrafted here. Like I said, those side lanes are there. You have Alice into a Lapu, this Popo and Kupo, which is known to be the absolute counter for a Clint here right now. And not just the counter, but they're kind of putting a lot of pressure on it. Oh, see?
Doctor does finally getting taken out here. Nikto with the last insanity does secure that turtle, able to get it, but still Area 77 just biding time, doesn't want to force an engage here. So we are still looking. I mean, again, TSU doesn't have a huge lead right now. It does, and you're right, Private. Area 77 is making their own moves on the map. And that is going to be the tough thing. Can Yeho place those ultimates in the late game, you know, around Lolita? Can he make those flanks movements when it comes to these 5-man team fights here?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I'm seeing here is it's a dual marksman comp. I think dual marksman comps are a little bad now just because of blade armor. You can pick up a couple of those in the team lineup, and then Claude's going to be useless here. Same thing with possibly even Clint. So, but Clint not so much. So we'll see how things go. You know, it's just a matter of who picks what and how some of these key team fights go down. No, go for it.
Oh, I was just saying that I think it's going to come down to like the rotations here. We do have Alice just kind of getting out there, but like Farja is smartly rotating to each of these lanes, helping to clear out the minions before we can get a good push on them. So I mean, they're holding the line, which they need to do to kind of try to even this out.
Ooh, almost a big in play. Doctor does steal that feathered airstrike, creating space, and they're going to take down this tier 3 tower in the mid lane. And, you know, this is what I mean. TSU definitely just... I feel like they're controlling the map right now, and with that with that mid tower gone, not only that, but Popo is now taking the bottom tower. They're gonna have so much availability for rotation, and we're only 6 minutes in. The gold lead at 2,000 now. It's huge for TSUG.
Two of the picks that are the Lapu Lapu and the Claude was just quite interesting picks. I mean, of course they're not your main meta pick heroes or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know if it was well placed here, especially with a Lolita. It's tough. It's tough to say.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna try to go. Oh,
they do.
Oh, they were able to go ahead. Yeah, they.
Blue team has slain the turtle.
Well, they get another turtle here. It's the picks. I feel like they have a plan here that I've yet to see coming to fruition. It looks like they're gonna get another tower here. It's kind of interesting that they're not answering.
Looks like we're gonna have a bit of a tower race here. You know, I think at that point they know it's like, yo, we can't waste time to go down there. We're not gonna make it. They're gonna get the tower. Let's just push hard into this top, which is what they're doing. Nikto zoning out as Ziggy comes in onto Yato. And my guess is they possibly take a tower. Oh, another go off the wall. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Now Mitsuke also going down, and they're gonna take this tower. So they didn't have to answer back. This is their answer. Come down. Doctor doing some damage with the Grok ult, able to take out Yeho. Gauss Cutie will go down. TSU taking this game into their hands. You know, once again, Area 77 falling behind, and I don't think, you know, maybe they can answer to this in the late game, but the thing is, we're already at 8 minutes, and they have a huge advantage on this map right now.
Well, we have yet to see this defensive mode. Like I said, that's where some of these these long distance may just shine, especially when the enemy is trying to attack the core, where they're at the safety of the base right there, and they can just rain down on them while they're protecting their core. So we're gonna see if we see any mistakes here on the side of TSU when they go in, if they try to attack it the exact same way, or if they have an answer for that to make sure that they're not falling into a trap over there.
Ooh,
and that's what we're gonna
Oh, but Yayo just falls into a trap. Will go down. The feathered airstrike does come out, though. Tamal and Dogtor will bite the bullet. Nikto on the chase onto Yato with that last insanity, able to get the kill, but Yuna also going down. So TSU loses 2, but they're taking 3, possibly 4. So, I mean, Area 77 is making some answers here and there, but again, you know, the draft, TSU just answering back stronger every single time.
Yeah, I don't know if Claude's maybe it could have come down to his jungle emblem that he decided to pick versus some others. I don't know, man. It definitely came down to draft. They're not performing that well neither. I mean, they're trying to come back, but there's just, it's like a dog trying to get a little bite when they can't reach it, you know?
Yeah, definitely not what we expected for the playoffs currently. Possibly three sweeps in a row. You know, I hope this isn't what we see the whole playoffs. This is not what these teams are supposed to be bringing to the map. But I love the fact that TSU doing a good job. Look at Tamal with the Summon on Blast. Decides not to go for the sun, just pop it off a little early. TSU mechanically picking away tower by tower private.
Yeah, I mean, it might come down to the person that you said is missing. Maybe that was an integral part of some of the comps that they like to run or that they feel comfortable on. And this is probably an adjustment that they are trying to make. But we see right here, Lord is barreling down to the mid. And is TSU going to be able to close it up here, or is Area 77 going to be able to mount a defense here with Yato in the back being able to kind of hopefully? Oh,
look at Ziggy zoning in, and Dogtor brings out the feathered airstrike for herself. You want to try to defend? We will push in. Gal Cutie will go down. The last insanity takes out Mitsuke along with Gals. This could be it. A 2-0 sweep going to TSU.
Oh man!
Just an answer. What today felt like from TSU is answers. They had answers for everything. Like, no matter what the enemy picked, no matter, even if they were trying to counter what they had, there was an answer that they had in their repertoire, and they played it to kind of perfection, especially in this last game. Like, not even, I don't even think there was a mistake made on the side of TSU.
Yeah, today they were on fire.
That was fast.
That was really fast. It's only 11:18, guys. 2 games in 45 minutes. I mean, not too long, but we took some breaks in between and stuff. But still, TSU. Let's not talk too crazy. Let's hype this up. TSU going to the semifinals to face up against either Insomniacs or Team Sexy. Definitely coming in. It's TSU did amazing at the beginning of the season, had a very weird finish to their season, brought themselves to the playoffs, and now they are showing out like the TSU we know and love, playing an amazing game and completely sweeping Area 77 here. Having some flashbacks to the last North American Community Tournament, man.
I don't know what happens, man. Like, they just somehow do not so well, and then just all of a sudden, again, like I said, just flip the switch, and it was insane.
Were they not swept on Sunday?
Who?
TSU?
Yeah.
Area 77 swept TSU in the season game.
Well, I just mean TSU came off from Sunday getting swept.
Oh,
no?
They got swept on Sunday. No, they didn't play
TSU.
Sunday. No. TSU got swept is what you're saying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got swept.
And came back with a vengeance. They learned from that. Like, this is a different team than we saw on Sunday. They're together. None of these picks kind of seem off the wall. They're answers to what the enemy is picking. They're flexible, and they're just adjusting so well. These games, like, I mean, we can talk about the back and forth about what Area 77 or maybe like some mistakes they made, but honestly, I think the story here is just about what TSU has done and what they were forcing here throughout all of their games today.
Yeah.
It was just amazing to watch.
Yeah, they brought the two mage heroes to deal with Grok. Not only that, but I think something we really got to talk about is overall tonight, you know, with the most recent patch and all of these tanks coming in, we're seeing a hero rise back to the top that we haven't seen in months, and that is this X-Borg jungle. You know, we haven't seen that be a popular pick for a long time. I'm talking like probably 6 months to a year almost it's been now since X-Borg jungle was a thing. Especially in high-level play. But now, with the current rework, I just think that, you know, Insomniacs and TSU were quicker to the punch, able to find an answer to some of these tankier picks like Grok and a lot of teams came in thinking, oh, we're just going to go for these new strong heroes, and they didn't expect to see these answers so fast. So I mean, the study, the analysis, being ready for these types of things is what's important. And Insomniacs and TSU proved that they were a little ahead of the bullet tonight. So with that, Ziggy.
I was just.
Go ahead,
ahead.
Private. No, go ahead.
No,
Private.
I was just about to say. I think a part of it might come down to the AoE damage that is coming on the side of TSU. You see the Alice, the X-Borg, the Valentina, because with this current meta, with these heavier heroes, just being able to like pew pew onto one hero isn't cut. You're not able to like burst them down like that. But when you're in these team fights and everybody on the enemy team is taking damage, everybody's getting burst down so quickly. I think that's kind of like where the success has been coming from TSU, is that they're not really choosing those heroes. They're not trying to isolate anymore. They're focused on those big fights and how these heroes kind of like meld into that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Most
I don't know what could have changed, but they definitely pulled through.
Yeah, TSU definitely was a monster of a team tonight. Let's get back to the caster's desk. We are almost through with Season 2. We have one more night. TSU will be going to the finals. That will not be the last game you see of Area 77. They will be going to face the loser of Team Sexy versus Insomniacs for the third place spot on Sunday night. So don't forget, tune in this Sunday. We're going to have... Let's take a look at the standings real fast. We're going to have Insomniacs up against Team Sexy as Game 1 at 6 p.m. this Sunday, Eastern Time. Then we will have the losers of that game up against Area 77 at 7:30. And then we will have the grand finals of TSU versus the winner of the other side of the bracket. I will not be like Private and make a guess of who that is. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. I think it could honestly be either team. I'm not just giving it to Team Sexy. Insomniacs came strong tonight, and Team Sexy lost 3 games all season. All season they lost 3 games. Do you know what team was one of those 3 games? Insomniacs. So if there's a team that can take them the distance and possibly get the win over them, it is definitely, they're on the right side of the bracket. And that team is Insomniacs. So I do believe that Insomniacs could possibly pull it off here. It's not going to be easy, but the opportunity is there for them. I think this Sunday, we should actually see some really great games. And if TSU, let's say Team Sexy does go to the grand finals, TSU isn't just an opponent I think everybody's going to be able to roll over here. They're looking strong after tonight's games. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. It's been a blast. And I can't wait for this Sunday. And any last words from Mako and Private?
I mean, great games. Can't believe I've seen 3 sweeps tonight. GG's. We'll see you guys. We'll see you again.
I mean, honestly, a great job to all of the teams in the league, and especially the ones who made it to the playoffs tonight and the ones who competed tonight. Just a superior job. I know the matches may have seemed a little one-sided, but we're in the playoffs where this is where people are coming. They're bringing everything and the kitchen sink, and it's been a great performance by TSU tonight. Pretty much just the star of the night. through all of these matches, and I can't wait to see what the next matches hold up for us.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in this Sunday. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tune in this Sunday to see who goes home with the $2,700 prize pool and 50,000 diamonds. I'll see you guys next time in the next draft.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.